Inflation soared, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. When it comes to your tax issues, why would you trust some faceless national company that uses cartoons in its ads to protect you? Tax problems are not funny and should not be treated lightly. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue and you need a lawyer that will protect your rights. You can't meet face-to-face with a cartoon. And what happens if the national company can't resolve your issue and stops returning calls? Do yourself a favor and call the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. I am a local attorney specializing in tax resolution. You can come in and sit down with a licensed, experienced attorney and put a name with a face. When it comes to tax issues, don't go with a cartoon. Get serious help with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Odyssey celebrates Women's History Month.
Danica Patrick drove to new lengths to break barriers for women in racing. She first drove in the IndyCar Series in 2005, taking 3 pole positions. And in 2008, she became the first woman to win an IndyCar race. She also became the first woman to compete full-time in NASCAR and lead both the Daytona and Indy 500.
Odyssey, celebrating remarkable women. For more, check out our exclusive station, She Sings, on the Odyssey app.
Worried about what you're breathing in? With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Download the Odyssey app to listen to 97.1 FM Talk and find content that moves you. Anytime, anywhere. The Odyssey app. For 97.1 FM Talk on the go. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock, Riverviews, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. Visit GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It's Tuesday now, and we are very grateful that you're here. It's a pretty big day. State of the Union, the president's first State of the Union taking place tonight. And we're going to have it all for you right here on the Annie Frey Show streaming pages. We hope you join us. Got the crew coming over to my house, and we are going to watch it together and react in real time. I am very interested to hear what direction the president takes. What was his last overall polls? Like 37%, maybe?
Yes, like 30. I think 37 is the number.
Later in the show, Brian Wiggins is going to talk to us about how is Biden doing in swing states, which I think is an interesting angle at it, especially if you're the type of person who likes polls, which I'm not. But at this point in time, the polls, even if here's the thing about polls, like I guess that they kind of all have a buffer zone. You know, they have a plus minus whatever margin. That's the word. And so I guess you kind of look at it like it's a range. So if his polling is at 37%, that's plus minus probably 2, 3, I don't know.
Yeah, on either side, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not great.
No bueno. And the consistency of the way Americans are seeing this president, that range, whether you want to believe the high end of it or the low end of it, the consistency is low. So we'll hear from Ryan Wiggins later in the show about that. Plus, the trucker convoy is out there right now, and I kind of want to hear from you. So here at the start of the show, I'm going to open up the phone lines, and if anybody out there has been at one of the locations watching the trucker convoy come through, I'd love to hear from you. 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Give us a call and, real quickly tell us what your experience was. We'll make sure Hannah knows that we're going to take some phone calls right here because we don't usually do this. I would love to hear what your experience is. I got a couple messages to the Annie Frey Show Facebook page and people sending me some pictures, and it seems like there were quite a few people showing up to these events. And I would love to know what your experiences is. So one more time, 314-241-9797. If you have been at the trucker convoy throughout the area, watching that come through, would love to hear from it. Also, Eric Schmitt, the Attorney General, he went to see this as well. Do you know specifically what location he was at? Did he go to Sullivan or?
I don't know specifically, no.
Well, we'll ask him at 125 because he's going to be on with us because he has yet another thing that he's uncovered. It is literally every week there's something different, and honestly, more than just every week. He's pushing and pushing and pushing. So we're going to hear from him and his experience of talking to these truckers, what he heard as well. That's at 125. And then here in about 15 minutes from now, we're going to speak with the RNC about what to expect from the speech tonight. So there are two convoys, right? Is it the People's Convoy and the Freedom Convoy?
I think so. I haven't been following it incredibly close.
High on our priority list of things to follow. And then the Russia stuff happened. And it really did. I mean, I've thought many times that trucker convoy, like freaking Canada, that was a huge jaw-dropping story. That could have happened 2 years ago at this point in time.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's get to Karen here. Karen, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. Did you go see the trucker convoy?
It sure did. Can you hear? Like freaking Canada. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, turn the radio down and then let us know what you experienced there because we'd love to hear it. We weren't on the ground, so what was your experience?
Oh, it was amazing, Annie. I wasn't planning on attending, and I started driving down 270 to go to an appointment or leaving my physical therapy, and they were everywhere. So I turned around and I just said no. I had a flag in my car, and I went up there with them, but people were just coming up saying, "Thank you, Patriot. Thank you for America ring, freedom rings," and it was so nice to be a part of that again. Meaning that we didn't have to hide it. I will tell you though, not many, maybe 5 in the whole 2 hours I was there because I got there ahead of time, but maybe 5 would drive by that I saw and stick their finger, give us the middle finger up through their sunroof. But this is America and they have a right?
Sure. Yeah, it's freedom of speech too. Interesting. Yes. Karen, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate that. And that experience. I'm curious if that's the same experience that other people have been having. 314-241-9797. If you were at or saw the Freedom Convoy, I think is the right name of the one that's coming through here today, give us a call and let us know. Cheryl, were you there, Cheryl? Go ahead.
Yes, I am. I just wanted to call and say I was driving down 270 northbound and they were coming southbound from 44 and it was the most amazing thing. It brought tears to my eyes and just everybody driving down 270 honking in unison and to see, policemen and American flags and Canadian flags and do not tread on me. And
Cheryl, what is it about what you saw that is causing you to feel that emotion right now?
It's been a long time since you've been able to feel like a free American, and it just felt dang darn good. Actually choked me up.
I think there are a lot of people right there with you, Cheryl. Thank you for calling in and sharing that with us. I mean, it's always interesting to hear how you folks put it. That's a pretty solid way of saying it, Cheryl. Right on. Kim, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. Did you participate in the convoy today?
Yes, I was at 270 and Tesson Ferry and stood on the overpass with a couple of families that I met.
And what was your experience with those folks and, the size of the convoy?
The size of the convoy was amazing. The families I stood with were amazing. They had very small children. I ended up trying to help them watch. I said, who knows, maybe you're raising a future president of our United States. And they were fighting for medical freedom. I was fighting for our freedom.
Well, thank you, Kim, for the phone call. I appreciate it. Thank you for being out there as well, because the show of support from, average folks like you and me is what tells these people who've decided to get in their trucks and trek across the country, that they have the support of the American people. And, to hear kind of a consistency from what we've heard so far from these callers, it is about freedom. It is about, I don't know. I feel like freedom and American, it should be synonymous. 314-241-9797. Phones continue to ring here. Let's get to Mary Jo. Mary, thanks for calling into the show.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call, and thanks for doing what you do every day. I love listening to your show with Brad and Ryan and the rest of the crew whenever they come on. So
thank you.
I really do appreciate that.
So what was your experience?
I just kind of happened to fall upon the convoy. I was headed west on 44. And when I got to 270, I had to go south, and they were all coming on from 44 going south on 270. I had to go into Illinois, across the JB Bridge, and the overpasses were really crowded. People were waving flags, and the truckers all had their flags on. And I was kind of felt like I was part of the convoy because I wasn't stationary. I was running along with them. So it was really an experience. I felt I have a flag in my car, a scarf flag. And I was waving it, and just it was a freedom. It was like feeling just like liberated, I guess, kind of. This is great that these men are doing this for us.
I agree.
Or not just men, but men and women.
Yeah. And
So
I agree with that. And it's, it's nice to be able to participate, Mary Jo, in something like this, even if it is maybe by happenstance. I'm impressed with how many people are just, rolling down the street with flags, just in case. Just in case freedom breaks out in the middle of the interstate. You're like, I got my flag. Let's go. Let's wave
I thought that too. I was like, man, I don't have a flag in my car.
Flag? This is a me thing. This is not a you thing.
Yeah.
But I need to message somebody right now because I need a flag just in case.
Yep.
Let's get to Matt. Matt, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. You see the Freedom Convoy today or participate in it somehow?
Absolutely. I left St. Louis this morning on business, driving to Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
And just about every other overpass, there was a group of people up there waving flags and cheering for freedom. It's a good thing. I'm about an hour out of Indy right now, and I just saw another bunch of people on overpasses in Indianapolis.
That's great.
So from St. Louis all the way through Illinois and now into Indiana, we got these people up there just cheering on freedom, and I'm all about it. That's all I really got.
Matt, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. You see, Southern Illinois representing folks. All those bad words that often get said about the state of Illinois, that Southern Illinois, Central Illinois part is nothing like the direction that the northeastern corner takes it in. Let's talk to Alyssa. Alyssa, thanks for calling the show.
Hi. First, I want to say I love your show so much.
Thank you, Alyssa. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I was coming from Washington out to Eureka, and I had no idea what was happening, but there were American flags everywhere and tons of honking, and every single overpass. It was amazing. I just got caught up in it, and I was like giving thumbs up to everybody, and my daughter and I were laughing, trying to make the truckers honk. It was I almost cried because it felt like we're not alone in this, because we can't ever talk about any of it.
Man, Alyssa, that's a fantastic story. Thank you for sharing it with us. How many people, Brad, are saying, like, I think the emotion is because you've had this feeling for so long. It's about your love of your country. It's about seeing where the country is headed right now and knowing you disagree with it. And the outside forces have been so successful at making you feel isolated. So when a trucker convoy plows through your region and people show up en masse from state to state to state to support it, and you don't feel alone, that's a pretty powerful emotion.
Huge emotion.
Yeah. Let's get to Matthew here. Matthew, did you get to ride with the truckers, Matthew?
Yeah, I actually did. I'm a local truck driver, Annie, so I listen to you every day. You are a phenomenal lady. I love your show.
Matthew, thank you.
I came up 44 this morning a couple of hours before they came through. Every overpass was already packed. All the ramps were packed. And then after I finished unloading that load, I got back out on the highway, and I met them at 270. I caught just the tail end of it. It was maybe, I don't know, 8 or 10 trucks. They all had big flags. And everybody was still up on there, honking their horns, waving their flags. And I can echo what everybody else said. I got a swell of pride. Our people can come together with one voice. We can protest in a non-violent way. And if truck drivers wanted to, we can shut this country down.
Yeah, that is for sure. We appreciate you, Matthew. We love the trucking industry on the station, specifically on the show. And thank you for taking us with you each afternoon. We're really grateful for that.
Thank you for all you do. I support you all the time.
Thank you, Matthew. That's a great story. I know Brad's from a trucking family.
Absolutely. Parents and brother.
You know, from a personal standpoint, the value of the trucking industry for you, but also for the country.
Oh, absolutely. If the truckers decide that this is over and they want to shut it down, they can shut the country down, and there's not a thing that anybody can do about it. Days. And stores' shelves would be empty or whatever. So I think that people really need to express a lot of appreciation for truck drivers.
Mark, real quick, we want to get you in here before we take a break. Thanks for calling the show. You there, Mark?
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here.
Go. So were you part of the convoy?
I make a comment
sure.
Yeah. Hello?
Yep, go ahead. Can you hear us, Mark?
Hey, Annie, I didn't know. I couldn't hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. What was your experience? Go ahead.
I'm standing over, I'm over 70 right now here in Highland, Illinois, and they're starting to come through. I'll tell you what, it's a nice sight to see. My dad was a truck driver for 48 years.
Wow.
And he would join in on this and make this special trip to Washington with these guys in a heartbeat. And it's just moving to see. I mean, really, it is.
Well, Mark, you tell everybody in Highland that
underneath the overpass and like blowing their horns.
Yeah.
Hell, trucks are even coming up over the overpass, exiting the highway and circling back around and coming up on the overpass and blowing their horns for the kids.
Wow. That's awesome. We love Highland, Illinois. Tell the folks there that we're thinking about them as well, and stick with us and send us some photos if you got some, Mark. Thanks for calling the show.
Yep, no problem. Thanks.
Yep, bye-bye. Let's talk to Connie. One last call here. Connie, thanks for calling in. What's your experience been so far today?
Yeah.
You hear the honking in the background. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm at the corner of I-70 and Grotefent Road. And when I came out of Marine, I took some back roads, and I was coming around. I could see people parked. So I asked somebody, is this the convoy? And they said, hasn't come through yet. So then I crossed onto Grotefent Road, and here they are.
And
it really is wonderful. And there are a lot of people on the overpass waving their flags and having a great time.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's just great. It's wonderful.
It's good for the country.
A display of freedom. It really is.
Well, Connie, thank you for calling the show. I appreciate it. It's good to talk to you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I know Connie personally. I know her my whole life, and I love her. So that's awesome. I really want to see your photos, folks. If you can send your photos, either tweet them at Annie Frey Show if you're a Twitter user, or you can send them in a message to the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. I think we're going to probably put together like a gallery or something. If you send me your photos, I'm going to use them. So know that if you send them to me, that they're going to get published. But I would love to see send me the photos, tell me your location so that we can cover. I mean, we're in the bi-state region here. We're in Indianapolis right now, which is awesome. I think that was Mark. And I thought for a second there, what are you doing in here? Ryan Wiggins, you're not supposed to be here till 12:45.
I know, but I got a really cool report that I want to share right after this break about how long the convoy was.
How can you tell us right now? Because we have a guest. We have Tommy.
We do?
Yeah, but go ahead.
15 minutes straight of honking.
Of honking?
My dad.
Yeah.
He said, "You're not gonna believe this. I've been hearing honking for it was longer than that because he said at that point it was 15 minutes in Collinsville." So that caller you just had that was in Marine and Highland, it had just gone through.
So it's coming from Collinsville on 70.
So it's going east right now. And he said it was a long, long time that he was hearing honking.
Can you imagine being in Canada and hearing it for days and days and days?
No. I mean, I haven't heard it at all, but I can't.
You could briefly hear in the back end of was that Connie's? You could hear it in the background.
Yes.
You could hear some trucks honking.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
We'll do some more reporting on. We'll follow it.
Ryan is keeping his eye on this throughout the course of the show, and he's going to report back to us that. Plus, I mentioned that you have the polling numbers for Joe Biden in swing states, which will be an interesting conversation. So we'll just get you in here, obviously, at 12:45 for Wiggins America and 1:45 if you want to come in a segment early, and we'll cover that because we have the RNC next, Tommy Pigott, Jim Carafano, can't wait to talk to him, and Eric Schmitt, who was with the trucker convoy, but also has broken some new information that is, this man keeps going and keeps backing the Constitution, and I'm here for it. So thanks for coming in and telling us that.
I'm just honored you can squeeze me in.
Thanks, Mr. Wiggins. Yeah, I didn't really have a choice because you just came in and turned your microphone.
Oh, that's right.
That's true. All right, let's take a quick break. Tommy Pigott with the RNC. When we come back, send your photos of the trucker convoy to the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. Tweet them at Annie Frey Show. It's 12:25 right now. Donate your car to Goodwill. Get 2022 Cardinal tickets at mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Cardinals. State of the Union talk next. Don't go away.
Sun's going down.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Make a move in your mouth, but don't rush.
Nobody else is reporting what we are. So if you want to make sure you're not missing the most important stuff, follow 97.1 on Facebook or Twitter. If you're lucky, they'll let you see a good 25% of it.
The Closet Factory has a system, a custom organization system for every room in your house. Let's talk about your garage storage right now. Okay, so first of all, it's March, which means spring cleaning is here, probably, especially when it's this beautiful outside right now. If you have to wade through piles of organized messes in your garage, let's get past that. Let's look at what we can do for our garages to put everything in a unified place. Plus, honestly, you're going to get rid of some stuff in the meantime. That's always good, right? Before you get into the spring and the grass cutting season and the tool rooting around season in your garage, have the Closet Factory come in and create a customized storage solution for you that works with your needs, that organizes the things in there and has, maybe gives you the ability to park your car in the garage. Wouldn't that be nice? Let's just be honest. Call the Closet Factory at 314-961-4300, 314-961-4300. Mention the Annie Frey Show. When you do, you can find them online at closetfactory.com.
Don't you wish fixing your car was simple? Mark Cox here. Today, cars have more tech than the first spaceship that went to the moon. It's guaranteed something's going to break. That's why I have a protection plan through CarShield. When I need a repair, I choose the mechanic. CarShield administrators take care of the rest. These plans through CarShield even provide rental car options and roadside assistance and trip reimbursement, all at no extra cost. Getting the coverage is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, contact CarShield for a free quote. 2, tell them about your vehicle. 3, choose the protection you need. That's it. Whether your car has 5,000 miles or 150,000 miles, CarShield has options to fit your budget. Get your coverage today. Go to carshield.com/Cox or call 800-391-8888 to save 10%. That's carshield.com/Cox or 800-391-8888 to save 10%. A deductible may apply.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
So here's the thing. So President Biden got news today that the ABC poll has him at 37% approval. That is what he is looking at. So it's not just that Americans have an opinion about him, but they have formed a judgment. And so, as you say, it was a very high bar for him to clear anyway. I expect that you will see some grace notes, some attempts at unity, and he'll be able to introduce again to America his Supreme Court nominee, Ketanji Brown Jackson, who had a pretty good rollout the other day. Now, that said, just imagine you and your sister, Jesse, played Monopoly a whole weekend, and you got all the pieces out on the board and everything's going very well. And then the neighbor kid comes over and kicks the board over. Well, that's basically what Vladimir Putin did to the State of the Union speech.
So the State of the Union taking place tonight, 8 o'clock our time. And a reminder that the Annie Frey Show crew is coming over to my house, and we're going to Mystery Science Theater the thing from the basement on the Annie Frey YouTube channel and the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. So please make sure you subscribe there. And I want to get to our guest. Tommy Pigott joins us right now, and he is the RNC Rapid Response Director. Sorry we got to you a little bit late there. The Freedom Convoy has just made its way through St. Louis, and we were talking to all sorts of different people on both sides of the Mississippi River who have been who've shown up and paid attention to this. And it is apparently, all reports indicate, a massive sight to see, Tommy.
Well, that's what happens when Joe Biden tries to suppress Americans' rights. Americans are standing up for themselves, and they're saying, no, you can't just violate my constitutional rights. And I think that's part of what makes it so great to be an American, that we have a people that are defending our rights and willing to speak up for themselves.
I completely agree with that. You know, one of the things that was consistent, but specifically mentioned by multiple of our callers there, was an emotion. Like, they were moved to tears. And what was consistent about that, Tommy, is they were saying that, you know, they showed up to stand on an overpass, or they, you know, managed to drive up and see this convoy going past, and seeing how many people were participating in the convoy itself, but also standing on these overpasses, waving flags. And the emotion that they felt that drove them to tears was in part because they felt like they weren't alone. I'm curious about your reaction to that.
Well, I think that's part of what Joe Biden's trying to do when he goes out there and he says these really smears against millions of people. It's part of just trying to isolate people that feel that way. He's not about dividing the country. He's about trying to browbeat people into submission. And we've seen what happened in Canada. And if it wasn't for the Supreme Court, if it wasn't for the opposition of organizations like the RNC and other conservatives around the country, we would have had a similar case here with a vaccine mandate for millions of Americans. So I think it's really great to see that people are standing up, and it's important for people to remember that you're not alone. I mean, it's tough when you see the mainstream media coverage and the constant barrage of negativity, but there are millions of people that know Joe Biden's policies don't make sense, that believe freedom matters, that believe parents matter, that believe family matters, that believe God matters. Yeah. There's millions and millions and millions of Americans that believe that. That's the majority of Americans, not Joe Biden and the far left.
It's a great point. Tommy Pigott with us right now, the RNC Rapid Response Director. We've got a State of the Union. It's technically the president's first State of the Union speech. Without what was going on the world stage, this would be complicated. With Russia and Ukraine, that is an extra complication and distraction, if that's the right word. What was taking place in our northern border in Canada, it almost seems forgotten, but Americans need to remember how quickly Canada was put under the Emergencies Act and basically lost their rights. There's not a lot for this president to brag about tonight. I presume that he will try to champion some victories. Is there anything that this president and his administration can really put in front of the American people as a win so far?
I don't believe so. I really don't. I think what they're going to try to say is really just double down on the worst parts of this president's agenda, the tidbits we were seeing, kind of the previews of the speech. Talk about the president wanting to spend millions more, hundreds of millions more on this radical Green New Deal agenda, when that's the exact agenda that destroyed American energy independence, left us more dependent on Russia, left us more vulnerable, and sent prices skyrocketing. A fact that kind of stuck with me was that the Keystone XL pipeline alone, which Biden canceled on day one, would have transported more oil per day. Just the Keystone XL pipeline would have transported more oil per day than we import from Russia per day. So that's just one way we could have countered Putin's influence. But Biden has handed him geopolitical win after geopolitical win. And in the State of the Union, he's going to double down on the same policies that have weakened America this entire year.
Yeah. We heard Jen Psaki say that the administration agrees that Russia energy dependence is a bad thing. Their solution is not the Keystone Pipeline. It's more green energy. Where can we look in the country right now to see where this implementation is working really well for the American people?
I think that's a great question because you can't. I mean, California is one of the states that Biden cites, and we all know how terrible their energy system is. We all know of the blackouts, of the forest fires, of the power companies needing to turn off the power because of how poor that energy system is. And they want the rest of the world to emulate California. California has $6 per gallon gas, $6 per gallon gas, and that's the state that Joe Biden wants the rest of the country to emulate. It really is just a warning sign, if anything, about what Biden wants to do to the country. He wants to turn it into California, the high prices we're seeing there. So this agenda hasn't really worked anywhere, but that's not stopping him from trying to push it.
Tommy Pigott, RNC Rapid Response Director, with us right now. I am curious, the CDC decided to relax those indoor mask guidelines just in the nick of time so that people don't necessarily have to wear them. They can if they want to at the State of the Union. I live across the river on the east side of the Mississippi. I live in Illinois. That's rough politically. That is a very rough terrain to raise a family in. But I'm sitting right now in Missouri. The city of St. Louis, the county, they have had mask mandates that have been in place, but the rest of Missouri has fared very well on letting Americans, Missourians, choose how to live their life. I'm curious about the future of COVID mitigation and mandates under this administration. And if tonight we're going to hear, some sort of claiming of victory now that everything has been relaxed quite a bit from this administration, because of what they've implemented and they've ushered us through this and gotten us to this point?
Well, I think there's two things to remember. One is that Joe Biden promised to shut down the virus when he was during the campaign. He promised that he would get into the White House and like a light switch would turn off the virus. That didn't happen. Unfortunately and horrifically, we've had more deaths from COVID under Joe Biden than we have under Trump. And Joe Biden was handed a vaccine, was handed treatments, was handed tests. But Joe Biden had failed to order enough tests, failed to order enough treatments, and instead has relied on mandates that don't work. Science is growing. These mask mandates have had little to no effect on the actual spread of COVID. And yet in places like DC, for example, you have vaccine mandates, mask mandates. Small businesses are being shut down when the science says these mandates do not work. And I think one contrast, especially in Washington, D.C., where the president's going to be giving his speech, is that kids at school need to wear masks right now, but Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden don't need to wear them in the Capitol. When you look at who's at risk, older Americans. So it really is not about what works. It's about power. And if it takes an election for Democrats to see sense, at least the small silver lining is we don't have to live under these draconian mandates. But Biden has failed on COVID. He's failed to live up to his promises. And instead, he's tried to grab power at every single possible point. And the victims are small businesses and our children. And that's unacceptable.
Yeah, watching the president try to grasp that power over the lives of the Americans who have been honestly making their own decisions regarding how they're going to handle and approach COVID for years now. It's been frustrating to watch. Now, on the world stage with the Russian invasion of Ukraine, we certainly aren't seeing Americans lead this administration lead in pushing back against Russia. In fact, we see the European Union making decisions that the Americans decide afterwards to join in on. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be, but I'm used to America leading. What is your reaction to President Biden's administration so far in this conflict and how that will affect his speech this evening?
Well, I think naturally it'll be a major component of his speech, but I think, again, there are a few things to remember. One is that Biden promised to keep Putin in check. That was one of his fundamental campaign promises. As the Democrats are pushing this bogus Russia hoax, the last gasp of it during the campaign, Biden was out here saying that if he was president, if he gets elected president, Putin would be kept in check. And he said, if Trump was reelected, Ukraine would be invaded. He said, imagine what will happen to Ukraine if Trump is reelected. I mean, you can't make it up. But the point is that Biden is weak. He's a weak president. And because of that weakness, because of appeasing Putin, because of appeasing Iran, because of appeasing China, or because of the Afghanistan withdrawal, our adversaries feel emboldened. So it's good that we're putting these sanctions on. This have bipartisan support, these sanctions. But ultimately, we need peace through strength. That's what President Trump had for the American people. He had energy independence. He had a strong military. He had a strong foreign policy. He said, let's stop buying oil and gas from Russia. Peace through strength was President Trump's policy. And instead, what Biden has brought us is chaos through weakness.
Before we let you go, Tommy Pigott joining us right now, the RNC Rapid Response Director. CPAC just wrapped up. Donald Trump won the straw poll there. You're mentioning the successes that the Trump administration had. And also, where would we be right now if President Trump had won the previous election or was in office in from the previous election? How much of a factor between now and the midterm specifically, let's leave out the eventual presidential nominee, how much of a factor is Donald Trump going to be working with or against the Republican Party?
Well, Republicans are united with Trump with standing up to Joe Biden. We all know that we need a check and balance right now in the Congress in order to stop the worst parts of this administration, in order to protect what we can of the amazing things that President Trump accomplished. And Trump is united with Republicans in that effort because really it's his accomplishments that we're defending. So I know that the president is going to be out there the former president, President Trump is going to be out there trying to really hold Joe Biden accountable. The RNC is going to be doing the same, and Republicans are united in that effort to really try to stop this dangerous agenda Biden's pushing in the White House.
I appreciate that answer, Tommy. Thank you for coming on today. We're going to be watching the State of the Union tonight, and we look forward to following up with the RNC about their thoughts and reactions to what the president says.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep. Have a great day. We appreciate your time here on Twitter at Tommy Pigott, Pigott. Go follow him. Give him a tweet. A thank you for coming on with us. He's the RNC Rapid Response Director. I want to take a quick break so we can give Ryan Wiggins his due time in Wiggins America when we come back. And I don't even know which. We talked several subjects. Are we doing Convoy next or are we doing polls? I guess it's up to him.
Yeah, I didn't tell him which one we would do when.
Okay.
I just told him we're doing both.
You told him he's doing both.
Right.
To be specific. The Annie Frey YouTube channel. Guys, it's a lot of fun it was fun to do the Trump events because it's freaking Donald Trump and he is a show in and of itself. But you want to watch the State of the Union tonight because you care. I understand that. But it's always fun to do it with people who you feel like you're in the room together. It's like being on the overpass with like-minded people. Come join us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We would love to have you there. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel now. You'll get a notification when we go live. We'll be right back. Ryan Wiggins, Wiggins America, in just a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
That's why I know you're my only desire, baby.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Let's start with former Senator Jim Talent.
There's some reason to believe that maybe the momentum of the invasion is slowing, although, I don't think anybody should get their hopes up.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
This is Ryan Wiggins. Just like I told you yesterday, grilling season is here, March 1st, and right on cue, it's 70 degrees. So be the first person in your neighborhood to fire it up outside, make that sweet scent carry over your whole neighborhood and make everybody else realize it is indeed grilling season. Bottle of Andrea's sauce is the way you kick it off. Not only can you use it inside if the weather does happen to get colder again for browning agent or in soups and stews as a binder for burgers, but you can take those outside too, put it on steaks, put it on burgers, put it on any of your proteins, including fish, and it is going to taste better than it would have without it. It is a unique sauce. If you've never had Andrea's, I encourage you to try it because it is kind of the great equalizer. If you're not great at grilling, but you want to be, and now's the time. This is the season where everybody gets inspired, right? To go outside, try it, whether you got a gas grill or you're using charcoal, it's going to smell great right around your deck for sure, even if it's not carrying over the whole neighborhood. And like I said, Andrea's is going to make whatever you cook better. Pick it up at area grocery stores like Dierberg's, Schnucks, some Walmarts, or at Andreas.com.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
This message is sponsored by Greenwise Financial. Did you know if you have over $10,000 in credit card bills, you have a right to settle that debt for less than you owe? We are Greenwise Debt Relief. We specialize in saving people just like you thousands of dollars off their credit card balance. If you want to put more money in your pocket, call us for free information now. 800-200-3785. That's 800-200-3785. 800-200-3785.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 53 years with a $53 heating system check. Heat your home safely this winter with a heating system check for only $53. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Back in the car and back on the road. We're with you. Dependable traffic with Sue Thomas. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
Take a seat, right over there, sat on the stairs, stay or leave. The cabinets are bare, and I'm unaware of just how we got into this mess.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Why don't you pull me close? Why don't you come on over? I can't just let you go. Oh, baby. Why don't you just meet me in the middle? I'm losing my mind just a little. So
all the lies from the misinformation, the disinformation from Fauci and the CDC, that needs to be done. Because they knew from the get-go that this thing came from a lab and likely came from a lab, gain of function likely done, and that our tax dollars are being used for it. So that's one. Second is the border. I mean, this is intentional. This is deliberate. There's no other logical conclusion you can reach. So we have to investigate the border situation. 2 million illegals crossing our border in 1 year is just wrong. And then third is the weaponization of the DOJ and parts of government to go specifically against parents. But those three, I think, are there's others, but those are the top three. And all three of those have connections to the Judiciary Committee, which is the committee I get the privilege of serving on.
When we listen to the State of the Union tonight, we're all going to be thinking midterms, and the Biden administration and President Biden himself are going to try to make you do everything but think of the midterms, with focuses on things going on across the globe: Russia, Ukraine, Canada, southern border, California, Illinois, New York, and then all those red states in the middle. Ryan?
Yes.
Wiggins, America?
Yeah.
You ready? Yeah. Where do you want to take that?
Well, we said we're going to talk about truck convoy. We're going to talk about Biden polls in the swing states, and then you opened with the border. So
I think it's just the border.
It's related to everything. I guess.
Tried to mention every topic so you could go anywhere you wanted.
Well, I will say
and
this
that was
first.
Jim Jordan speaking for 47 seconds about what's at stake with the midterms and the GOP taking the majority.
Thank you. I'm trying to watch the trucker convoy.
Is that what we're doing now?
No, I don't know what we're doing. I'm kind of.
When would you like to make that
one
decision?
eye on one,
you have
one
8
eye on the
minutes
other.
till it's over.
Well, I think it's probably in about between Pocahontas and Vandalia right now, which is right about at the edge of our listening area.
Yeah, about 20 minutes ago we had, maybe 25 minutes ago we were talking, and it was going through Marine. And Highland.
Highland. It's so cool, and there's no plan in this, that they started going through Illinois right when this show started.
I had them scheduled around our show.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's incredible. They're stopping in Indianapolis tonight. So
I asked Brad, I said, how many truckers are like driving and not in support of this? And they're like trying to do their job and they're mad. So they're honking at people to get out of their way. I was like, no, but I don't mean it like
that. Very few.
Probably not.
Very, very few. Okay. So
today's the day you just take off if you aren't in favor.
Yeah, I don't know what you do because you still got to go.
When you got to go, you got to go. Do you have more?
You got to go. No, I was just commenting on where I think they're at right now because it's fascinating to watch, and just the fact that it's so big. I had no idea it was going to be, at least 15 minutes long.
I'm glad it is. It's scary to put those things together and be like, oh, well, it's 7 trucks.
Yeah, you just never know, do you?
Beep, beep.
It's really, really cool. I've been watching traffic cams and stuff and just kind of getting pictures. Very, very neat to watch. So thank you for that. And thank you for the great reporting on this show, Annie. You guys did a great job in that first segment. It was fun to listen to.
Thank you.
The battleground polls for President Biden and his job approval. Let's start with states that you maybe knew would be in contention, like Georgia, Arizona. Right now,
It's so weird that Georgia is included.
Isn't it?
I'm still not okay with that. The Republicans blew that so bad.
Yeah, there's a lot there because you're talking about 2 different elections. You're talking about the November one.
The Republicans blew that so bad. The Republican House right now was going to pass a school choice bill.
Yeah.
And Corey DeAngelis and his, it's like Americans for Students or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head what his organization is. Sent out mailers in Georgia pressuring the Republican House members to vote in favor of it, which I think the majority of them were, but they sent out political mailers that said, this is what's at stake. Encourage your representative, Ryan Wiggins, to vote in favor. And I mean, I've been looking for the wrinkle in this that makes this make sense to me, and I have not found it yet. The Republican House members got so miffed that they sent out these mailers. They said, fine, we're not voting for it at all. Like, school choice is not happening in Georgia. Am I getting this wrong?
Was it the whole House or was it just the Speaker of the House? Because I know like the Senate...
No, it was more than the Speaker.
Wow.
I mean, like, he's not even calling it now, though, right?
No, he's not going to bring it up.
So they got butthurt about this, and now school choice isn't going to happen in Georgia because somebody sent out like, oh, how did you get elected into that office and have that thin skin?
I know that our elected officials are people and that people have feelings. But when you get to office, whether it's at the state level or the national level, you are first a public servant. You serve the public that voted to put you in office. And just because some random person or lawmaker or activist group makes you mad, I can't stand it.
Get over it.
It happens in Missouri like crazy. Watching it happen locally makes me so mad about the infighting with Republicans in this state. It is
in Missouri.
Petty. Yes, in Missouri.
As an Illinois Republican, there's 3 of us in the room. I'll speak for only myself, but kind of add to what you're saying. Oh, Missouri, you've got it so good. And I'm not talking to the people. I'm talking to the officials.
Yes.
Get your act together.
Get your act together. Do things that the electorate wants you to do. Stop serving yourself.
Yes.
Because
completely.
that is what it looks like.
Maybe one day we'll be on this show and we'll be covering how selfish the supermajority of Republicans in the Illinois House is. And they'll be like, Annie, do you remember on March 1st when you said this? Take some of your own medicine or something. I pray for that day.
Dude, there's so many things that the Missouri legislature could do that the people want them to do. Things like school choice. Things that are, for lack of a better word, conservatively progressive, pushing that line.
Ideas.
And they're just not doing it. There are a handful who are really committed to doing it. And the rest of them are like, no, we're not.
And it's not just conservatives. There are people on both sides of the aisle that want school choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, on that issue particularly.
And that's ridiculous that they're like, oh, they sent mailers out. Well, in that case, I'm going to stomp my foot and kill it.
In Georgia, I mean, look into that. In Georgia, it is the dumbest thing. I was thinking about having Corey DeAngelis on to talk about it because I think it's fascinating how stupid politics gets in the way of good ideas and good progress. And yes, progress can be good. And it's a perfect example. And going back to what your original point was, Georgia's it up again. And I mean, if we take one or of 2 of those runoff races, and honestly, I think if we would have done a better job in the actual general election, we wouldn't have had to have the runoff. Or run better candidates for those Senate seats. Think about where we would be right now if the Republicans had 51 seats in the Senate.
Yeah. My biggest Georgia complaint is one word, Raffensperger. But that's a different point. Senate battleground state, Georgia, Biden approval is at 32% in Georgia, 57% against. That does not bode well for a midterm year. Usually, as we get closer to the election, these numbers will tighten a little bit. They haven't yet. It's March. They haven't yet. We'll see. Over the summer, we'll see if those
Pam
tighten.
on Facebook just said, did Wiggins just dude you? Did you call me dude?
No, I don't think so.
I have multiple messages that suggest you did.
Oh, maybe I did.
I didn't hear it, guys. I wasn't offended until you told me to be, and now I'm just very lit.
If I say dude and I'm talking to anybody, man or woman, I'm pretty serious. So
no, he said dude.
Uh-oh.
It's getting real.
Look out. How about Arizona? Arizona, 34% Biden approval to 58% disapproval. That might be the widest one in the nation right there. Pennsylvania, 34% approval, 57% disapproval. 34% approval for the president.
I think you were right the first time. 34.
34. Nevada, here's the states that really, now Georgia and Arizona absolutely matter, but those are states that you'd think they kind of hit their high watermark in 2020, so they're going to shift back no matter what. But Pennsylvania, you don't really know how that's going to go. 34% right there. Nevada, that one hasn't really been on the radar for Republicans in quite a while. 35% approval. Colorado's not on this list, but I'm sure that's within striking distance. 56% disapproval in Nevada. Wisconsin, very, very key state, kind of flips back and forth right now, although trending redder. 38% approval, 54% disapproval. Here's the biggest surprise one. New Hampshire back in play. That one in Nevada really are surprised.
I'd really like to know where Illinois is on that, because I know it's not going to be, like Missouri's disapproval.
Yeah.
But I'd be really curious to know, how is Illinois faring in that?
Illinois, it's going to be real close in Illinois because the last I looked at nationwide polls, I think the only state that there's only a couple states that had Biden at a greater approval than disapproval. I don't think Illinois was one of them.
I'll tell you what, J.B. Pritzker is the bigger villain in Illinois than, no pun intended, President Biden. He is not liked across the state. And just like in 2024, when we talk about who's going to run against President Biden, and like I said, DeSantis is an 8-run grand slam. You get to take the lap twice. In the state of Illinois, whoever we run against J.B. Pritzker, if the vote continues to be get this guy out of here, and the candidate isn't a big distraction, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Big time. Jim Carafano and Eric Schmitt in the next hour. Don't go away.
Hey guys, it's the new year. Are you still struggling with erectile dysfunction? I've yet to meet anyone that enjoys timing those intimate moments around a pill. Well, now you don't have to. The advanced wave technology at Pineview Medical has been shown by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic to restore and even regrow blood vessels. It can improve circulation and eliminate erectile dysfunction. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us in the next 2 minutes and you'll receive a consultation, assessment, and blood flow ultrasound free, plus a special gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. Trust me. This is a $600 value, free to callers now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, get rid of your ED and get that spark back. Call Pineview Medical now to qualify. 314-530-7777.
Attention business owners. This is a public awareness message from the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team. The war against hackers and ransomware is underway. The only way to prevent the war from impacting your business is to speak with the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team immediately. You need to act now. The ThrottleNet cybersecurity team is prepared to protect you against cyber threats. Schedule a meeting right away by visiting throttlenet.com/cyberwar.
How about starting the new year off with a new coat of paint from CertaPro Painters? This is Mark Reardon, and I've trusted the experts at CertaPro for a long time now. They've knocked out project after project over the years, and the quality of the work always blows me away. Imagine what a new coat of paint and a new color can do for your home. It's a great time for your vision of color to come to life. Schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. It's a professional, worry-free process, and they deliver what they promise. Certified Painters.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. When it comes to your tax issues, why would you trust some faceless national company that uses cartoons in its ads to protect you? Tax problems are not funny and should not be treated lightly. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue and you need a lawyer that will protect your rights. You can't meet face-to-face with a cartoon. And what happens if the national company can't resolve your issue and stops returning calls? Do yourself a favor and call the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. I am a local attorney specializing in tax resolution. You can come in and sit down with a licensed, experienced attorney and put a name with a face. When it comes to tax issues, don't go with a cartoon. Get serious help with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
Bombing Ukraine and silencing critics. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. One of the oldest radio stations in Russia is off the air and had been critical of the Kremlin. The Associated Press confirming the station was taken off the air today after authorities threatened to shut it down over coverage of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The European Parliament just voting to grant Ukraine candidacy status.
637 members voted in favor, 13 votes against, and 26 abstentions. So the resolution is adopted.
The one step in a potentially lengthy process, Ukraine's president making a personal appeal earlier for his country to be made part of Europe as he accused Russia of war crimes. Later, another call with President Biden. The White House says the two leaders discussed Russia's escalation of attacks on sites used by civilians and the sustained help of the U.S., including ongoing deliveries of security assistance and humanitarian aid. 31 countries agreeing to let 60 million barrels of oil out of strategic reserves. Half of it from the U.S. as oil prices shoot past $100 a barrel. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer calling for a bipartisan aid package to Ukraine in the coming weeks.
The strongest signal we can send to Vladimir Putin right now is that the United States stands together with the people of Ukraine.
President Biden expected to focus on more than the conflict during his first State of the Union address tonight, still facing some significant domestic issues. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell says the American people deserve a commitment to drastically change course.
If this administration does not majorly correct its course, the American people may correct course for them this coming November.
The White House says the president's speech will include inflation, the pandemic, and climate initiatives. The first primary of the 22 midterms underway in Texas today. America is listening to Fox News.
Who's that again? I don't know that number.
Please hold for a very important message.
Skip. You can skip robocalls, but don't skip your well visits and recommended vaccines. They help protect you. So ask your doctor or pharmacist about any recommended vaccines you may need. Really? Again? And skip.
A public service announcement from Vaccinate Your Family in collaboration with Merck.
Americans don't trust big media. The source you can trust is Newsmax. Find it on all major cable systems or download the free Newsmax app on your phone. Millions are watching Newsmax and the Newsmax team with Rob Finnerty, Eric Bowling, Sean Spicer and Lindsay Keith, Greg Kelly, Stinchfield and Rob Schmitt. Plus weekends with Huckabee, Diamond and Silk, Gorka and Wendy Bell. 20 million people have made the switch to Newsmax. Try it. You may never go back.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Well, this is certainly the way to kick off the month of March. Sunny and warmer this afternoon, 69-70 for the high. The average high this time of year is 51, so we're way above that. Tonight, clear skies, 40. Wednesday, plenty of sunshine, even warmer Wednesday, 75 degrees for the high. Thursday will be sunny and cooler, 59. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Tuesday night is the first State of the Union from President Biden. We are going to be carrying it live here on 97.1 and also streaming it live with myself, Ryan Wiggins, Annie Frey, and many others here from 97.1 online at the Annie Frey Show Facebook and YouTube pages. We invite you to join us in either format in this very consequential time for a State of the Union, especially for President Biden. Tuesday night for the State of the Union, we got you covered either platform, streaming or live here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey guys, it's the new year. Are you still struggling with erectile dysfunction? I've yet to meet anyone that enjoys timing those intimate moments around a pill. Well, now you don't have to. The advanced wave technology at Pineview Medical has been shown by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic to restore and even regrow blood vessels. It can improve circulation and eliminate erectile dysfunction. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us in the next 2 minutes and you'll receive a consultation, assessment, and blood flow ultrasound free, plus a special gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. Trust me. This is a $600 value, free to callers now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, get rid of your ED and get that spark back. Call Pineview Medical now to qualify. 314-530-7777.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
With Odyssey music stations, there's a different station for every taste, and they're all free. Listen to 97.1 live on your phone or browse the selection of music stations and make a soundtrack to your workday. It's all at Odyssey.com. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock, Riverviews, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. Visit GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not married to sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not married to sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Well, I don't think it's a pipe dream, Sean. I mean, as I just outlined, some of his closest friends and confidants, his inner circle, he's now starting to treat differently, which indicates they see that he's acting differently. And this is what happens to autocrats and dictators over time. They get isolated, they get more paranoid, they become less trustworthy, and the more isolated they become, the more dangerous they become. But the people around them see that, and often that's the devolution of dictators.
So that's the former director of national intelligence speaking, John Ratcliffe, talking about what is, I assume, the instability of Vladimir Putin on the world stage. People are saying this and suggesting this. And I'm kind of curious, how does his lack of stability play into the decisions he's made so far? And also, when you're putting your nuclear alert on high alert and, talking about these things on a global stage, I should say, how that instability is going to factor into the future. Let's talk to our favorite guest here. Jim Carafano joins us. He's a leading expert in national security and foreign policy at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, welcome back to the show. So much to talk about here, so little time.
Yeah, look, I caution people about being amateur psychologists and reading into the inner thinking of Putin's mind based on, very limited information. this is the reality of dealing with these kind of regimes where you don't have broad access to data. And rather than trying to create a picture in your head of this is who I think this person is, accept the information, the knowledge that you have, and react and deal to that. So look, here's what we know for sure is Putin is under an enormous amount of pressure. And I think we can confidently conclude that things did not go as planned. It's clear that, what the evidence clearly suggests is he was determined, and we can debate whether it's weakness in Biden or, he's not going to live forever. It was that he was determined in his mind to resolve the Ukraine issue once and for all, and that this was the time to do that. And that it was going to happen one of two ways. Either everybody was going to cave and give him what he wanted to and hand it to him on a silver platter, like Hitler in the Sudetenland in the 1930s, or that he was going to roll the dice in history and he was going to sweep this up. And it seems pretty apparent that the plan was they brought the Wagner Group, the mercenaries, back from Africa and some other places. They were going to infiltrate those guys in, kill it and decapitate the major, the heads of the government, and then in a lightning military advance, without a functioning government, the country would rapidly collapse, and then in a sense Putin would dictate the peace. Instead, what we've seen happen is they didn't decapitate the government. The Ukrainians are fighting very hard, and because it didn't happen so fast and so quickly, and there was a Ukrainian being. We've seen this kind of extraordinary pushback, and not only rallying of support for the Ukraine, but also increased defense spending and everything else, and swiftly moving and everything. And that's and he hadn't planned for that. And now he's facing a protracted war. And the good news a couple of days ago is when oil goes to $100 a barrel, that's great. It pays for the war, no problem. But now the fact that the ruble is almost worthless. The revenue that's coming in is going to pay for a protracted war. Even if they're successful, they're facing a very, very difficult occupation. Any financial gains that, benefits that he may have gotten from the increase in oil have been completely wiped out by what's happened to his economy. He may still win and he may still come out on top here, but this is reminds me, honestly, most closely of what happened to the Bush administration in Iraq. They were going to run in, they were going to take the guy on a lightning campaign, they're going to hand it over to a caretaker government, and we were going to be out of there. And instead, we wound up in a 6 or 7 year protracted insurgency. And we were at the time, maybe still are, the richest and most powerful nation on earth with one of the world's most powerful militaries. That's not the situation that Putin's in.
Speaking with Jim Carafano right now with the Heritage Foundation on Twitter at JJ Carafano. I'm curious about what you said, Putin might still win. I'm curious what that win looks like after the fact for the Ukrainian people and for Russia's, involvement in that territory.
Well, look, the Russians will only win now by essentially doing a Carthaginian victory. So Carthage was the main competitor of Rome, and the Romans eventually only defeated them by going in, destroying and leveling the entire place, salting the earth, and taking the last of them and throwing them to slavery. So the Russians will only win in Ukraine by completely destroying the country, or at least the major urban areas and a lot of the infrastructure. So what they're going to be left with is a country that which they may control, but in the short term will not be an asset to them. Many of the population will have fled. The infrastructure is going to be in terrible shape. The people are going to be starving, and the Russians will have to occupy it, which will be with a lot of force, and that will be extremely costly.
Jim, as far as the global response goes to what Putin has been doing right now, who is at the forefront of that? Who's out front on leadership when it comes to how the world is responding, and where does America fall into place?
Well, not to be too glib about it, but the leader is Putin. What the Europeans are doing now is a terrified response to the real threat that Putin represents to destabilize all of Western Europe, and they are standing up in just remarkable ways. The Germans committing to 2.2% of defense, the Romanians going to 2.5%, even a socialist government, Belgium going to 1.9%, pushing equipment into Ukraine, even sending fighter planes into the Ukraine. Look, here's the good news. We haven't figured the energy piece out yet. That's pretty complicated. But in terms of defense and protection of Ukraine, this is a response to Putin. The reality is, if that kind of resolve had been demonstrated 9 months ago, 44 million Ukrainians were probably not under attack. If Putin had really understood that Ukraine was going to be able to fight and that the European countries weren't going to fret and stand on the sidelines while this happened, he might have never gone. So the one thing we know for sure is our president was not the leader here. And I don't say this with any joy. The reality is, by saying diplomacy and all this other stuff, and let's not do anything, let's not provoke Putin, that was giving them a green light and enabler. And now what's happened is our president has really just moved at the pace of the Europeans. This is not leadership. And honestly, if they did everything they're doing today, and they had done that 9 months ago, the 44 million Ukrainians wouldn't be dying and fighting today. And that's just the reality of where we are. And there's no do-overs, but for this administration, and again, it's not politics, for this administration saying, look, we have led in the face of crisis, that's a lie.
Jim Carafano on with us right now, the leading expert in national security and foreign policy at the Heritage Foundation. The President of the United States is going to deliver his first State of the Union speech this evening. Is there anything he could say tonight that will make the situation better? And is there anything he can say that could make it worse?
It's probably going to make it worse because he will step up there and say everything we're doing is amazing. And Americans look at the border, they look at illegal immigration, they look at crime, they look at inflation, they look at the state of the world, they look at their pocketbooks, they look at their 401ks, and they know everything. And they look at the horror that this administration dragged them through over the last year over COVID, pitting family against family, state against state, school boards against students, students against teachers. He's going to go up there and say, we have done a really good job for America, and we all going to know it's a lie. And so I deeply suspect that most Americans will walk away and not listen to the pundits on MSNBC and CNN and whatever else say how, this is really pretty good and, oh my God, it's way better than Trump. We're going to walk away, if we tune in at all, which I doubt, and say, this is going to give us less confidence in our president.
Jim,
I say it with no joy.
I was going to say, if you had the ability to advise him, is there anything you would advise him to say tonight that could potentially make the situation any better?
Sure, he could walk up there and do like Harry Truman did. Harry Truman knew that in the Korean War, that by changing policies, it was going to enable America better to deal with the crisis that we were in, even though it was making him do things that he didn't want to do. But that essentially doomed his political career, and he had no chance of running for president and winning. But he did it anyway. Our president could get up there and he could say, we're going to have energy independence in this country. We are going to build a military that will let the Russians and the Chinese know that they may come after other people, but they will never be able to come after us. We're going to tell big tech to stop respecting the consumers and the privacy and liberties of American citizens. We're going to secure the border. So the greatest vulnerability that this country has had in its history is sealed off. And we're going to enforce our immigration laws. He could say all those things, but he won't.
I had a message. Somebody tweeted at me, and I told him I would ask you this question. I think it's a good question. We've been hearing about all these big bad sanctions that America's putting on Russia, on Putin himself, on the people who are associated with Putin. Of course, we're seeing that on the global scale as well from different nations. How do we know, as average, everyday American citizens, that what our government is telling us is being implemented? How will we know that those have actually been levied and are taking effect?
Well, that's a really good sanctions. They're not good to deter because we've already seen that doesn't work. They're not really good to punish because these guys can always find a way to make money. They're only good for depriving the other guy of resources to do bad things with. And so for sanctions to be effective, they have to be the maximum you can do. They have to be implemented as fast as you can. And you actually have to enforce the sanctions. And I think that's a really good question, is how do we know these sanctions are going to be enforced? Well, the reality is under a Democratic Congress, we'll never know, and we can never trust the administration on this. If control of the Congress does change, Congress does have the power to do oversight and investigations to see if sanctions are actually being fully implied. And so that means at the very, very best, you won't know anything until after January 2023, and then it will actually take them months. It will take them months to get their act together. So we are probably a year and a half. Well, where are we? We're probably a year from knowing if they're actually doing what they claim they're going to do.
Is there?
How's that for being?
Yeah, I'm like trying to formulate a question that can make you say something positive. What would that be? Can you just? What kind of good news do you have? That's the question. Because I'm not coming up with one.
If you look at the president, there all the things that are important to Americans. They know they want something different, whether it's COVID response or education or all these issues. And we still have a lot of power in this country at the state and local level. And I think that what's going on at the state and local level is putting pressure on the federal government to move in the right direction. I think Congress can push the president. I think we can, look, there's a reason why Putin just didn't attack NATO. There's a reason why the Chinese just didn't invade Taiwan yesterday, because they know that this is a country that has, because we demonstrated under Donald Trump, the ability to have the world's most powerful and vibrant economy that is more than willing to stand up and defend itself and its friends and allies. I think they feel the resolve of that. And they know that coming back could only be one election away. And so the more that we demonstrate that America is willing to act like Americans, the more likelihood that the bad guys will recognize that it is not the open running it appears to be under Joe Biden.
One question I did think of to ask you real quick before I have to let you go. We did have the Freedom Convoy literally in the beginning of the 12 o'clock hour here locally, came through St. Louis, and we're talking like a 15-minute long parade of trucks that are headed that way towards you in Washington, D.C. You saw what the administration did after January 6th, locking down the fences and everything. I'm curious about your thoughts about the incoming convoys to the Capitol.
Well, I think this administration's been ridiculous, right? They have used political opposition and opposing views as the metric for extremism. So literally anybody that disagrees with them is labeled an extremist and possibly a terrorist. I think their response to which is just very clearly a public demonstration, much the way when the Pink Hats flooded D.C. was a public demonstration, or the Women's March was in D.C. They should treat it in that light as an act of public action. I mean, we have those in Washington, D.C. all the time. They would come, they would do their thing, and they would leave. And I think it's a big mistake by portraying this as some kind of extremist threat. And it actually, again, what does it do? It gives us less confidence in the credibility and veracity of our government, and more believing that they're out that they are out to silence dissent, and they're out to steal the political system, and they're out to tell the rest of us what to do. So I think the way they're addressing this is just all that.
Well, they are headed your way. I can tell you that. And there are quite a few of them. I had a lot of reports about it. Jim, it's a pleasure to have you back on the show. We always look forward to your insight. We're going to talk to you again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Jim Carafano, leading expert in national security and foreign policy at the Heritage Foundation, on Twitter at JJ Carafano. We got to get to a quick break because one of the people who was out at that convoy, that is the Missouri Attorney General, Eric Schmitt. We're going to talk to him about that and something else that he's uncovered about conservatives being silenced. The man doesn't stop. He doesn't sleep. And we're going to talk to the Attorney General of the state of Missouri, Eric Schmitt, in just a minute. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. History looks back on times like this. Where do you stand? 97.1 FM Talk is here to spotlight what would otherwise be left in the dark. right here, right now. 97.1 FM Talk.
Stewart's American Mortgage just got a text from Stewie today, said rates went down again. The Ukraine situation is really causing the economy to shift and to react. And he said there's a window of opportunity right now where rates have ticked down once again. If you've been thinking about doing a refinance, it really, it's free to call or text Stewie and talk about your situation. And honestly, when you use the bagel loan, guess what? He doesn't charge you fees that everybody else out there is going to charge you to go through the refinance. Have you ever looked into it before and you're like, oh, I got to pay all these lender fees? And I mean, I can't even list all the things that you have to pay for. And then you're like, I'm saving this much money, but I'm spending this much money. I don't even know that this is really worth the whole process. Go to Stewie, call Stewie at 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Tell him what your situation is. If you want to take cash out of your home because the equity is up, this is the time to do it. If you just want to secure that lower interest rate or shave years off the length of your loan, Stewie can help you with the bagel loan. 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Why are some people afraid to enjoy their retirement? And why are some people so worried about spending money during their golden years? Maybe it's because they are afraid of running out of money. Maybe they are afraid of depleting their nest egg either through spending too much or through investment strategies that could result in losses. Hi, my name is Megan Meyer with High Z Advisory Group. Do you have a fear of depleting your savings and running out of money too soon? Let me help put your mind at ease. I can help you create an optimal retirement income distribution strategy that helps to maximize income from your retirement savings and eliminate your fear of running out of money. Call 314-328-6000 and schedule your complimentary retirement roadmap review with our team. That's 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
IZ Advisory Group provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Let's start off a new year with a new coat of paint. This is Mark Reardon for CertaPro Painters, and let's make 2022 the year you transform your home or business with some new colors and expert professional painting. CertaPro can make it happen, and the quality of the work will blow you away. One of my favorite parts of hiring CertaPro is I don't have to do the painting myself. These are professional painters. They can help you bring your vision of color to life. Get started today with a free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Can't stop addicted to the shindig. Chop top, it says I'm gonna win big. Choose not a life of imitation. Just get closer to the reservation. Street funk the pistol that you pay for. This pump the feeling that you stay for. In time I won't
follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
I believe they know exactly what's going on, and this is exactly what they want. Because nobody can be this dumb. All right, you can see it with your own two eyes, and you can see the impact. I think it's an open border policy. That's exactly what they want, although they don't want to say it's an open border policy because it's not very popular with American people. But it is with their base, their far left radical base. That's exactly what they want.
The Republican Florida congressman from Florida, Carlos Jimenez, talking about the border and the handling of the border, and his quote, "Nobody can be this dumb." We're going to hear the State of the Union tonight, and when we do, we are going to hear the president give you his version of what has transpired in his first year in office, and I suppose what his plans are for the next coming 3 years. It's going to be a very tough task to deliver to the American people in a way that shows some positivity. Meanwhile, the trucker convoy has made its way through St. Louis, is through Illinois, headed its way towards Indiana, and people are showing up en masse to support these individuals who have made this part of their afternoon. Our Missouri Attorney General, Eric Schmitt, was there with them today, and he's with us now. Welcome back to the show, Eric. Great to have you here. You got to meet some of these people or see this event. Just give us your assessment so far of what it is and what it means.
Well, it's what America is all about. There were, freedom-loving people that gathered to support these courageous truckers who are taking a stand against these mandates, whether it's vaccine mandates or mask mandates. I mean, this un-American concept that the government can force people to do these things when they can make their own decisions themselves. Individuals can. And so it was great. I mean, there were hundreds of people there. We were at Highway 44 and Antire Road overpass there between, Fenton and Six Flags, essentially. And it was beautiful. American flags, people just showing their support, and it was great.
So, we opened the show at noon, and I just let people call in and talk to us about if they were there, what their experience was. And, Eric, I'm talking to these people who are calling in, and they're getting emotional discussing what they experienced. And a lot of what they were saying is that it was so good to see other people who cared about those same things that were important to themselves. Freedom, the ability to make your own choices in life, loving your country, and people who previously felt alone didn't feel alone today because of all of the support for this convoy. I'm curious what your thoughts are to the people of Missouri that you represent right now as the Attorney General, who are feeling in this, presidential administration quite alone in the way he's been leading us.
Yeah, I mean, you're not alone. A lot of people feel that way, as was evidenced today. People gathering together in a show of solidarity for people, again, who are taking a stand and really about freedom and about liberty, the principles that tie us together as a country. And I think what people are really tired of, they're tired of being divided based on race or religion. This is what the left does. It's what cultural Marxism is. It's meant to divide people and untether us from the thing that we have in common, which is America is the first country of its kind in the history of the world where we believe in an idea that we're all born with certain rights and we can pursue our dreams and government shouldn't get in the way. It should only be protecting those rights. And people feel like we're losing that. I feel like this culture and country is slipping away because the Biden administration, they have at all levels of government, all three branches of government, I should say, they control all the levers of power. And what have we seen? We have seen we're not energy independent anymore. We don't have a secure border anymore. 100 million people were attempted to have a medical procedure with the mandate under the OSHA rule when OSHA was never charged with that. Congress never voted on that. The Constitution never allowed that. And so they're standing up. And I think a lot of people are being told, hey, you're not smart enough to make this decision. You are, don't object. You're an extremist. All the name calling that has come from the newspapers and the corporate media telling these people that they're not worthy. They're not worthy of the dignity and respect to have their own point of view. And they showed up today. And those are the people I'm fighting for. And I keep that in mind every day as we take on this administration and their lawless, radical agenda.
It's something we want to continue to cover here on our show, and we're grateful that you always make time for us. And it's issue after issue after issue. It's the southern border. It's overlords wanting to put masks on kids at basically all costs. It's a constant drumbeat of big government wanting to insert themselves into the lives of American people who should be making so many of these decisions for ourselves, and where government should show up and should be ever present is the safety and security of our people and our country. And it seems as though this administration has no concern about that, as you've exposed with your lawsuits on how many people are coming into over the southern border on a daily basis.
Well, and that was the subject of my. I was honored to have a kind of a prominent role in the CPAC speech order right before Donald Trump Jr. On the last day, and so that was the focus of the speech that I gave, which was the left's vision of America is very different than what our founding vision was, and what I think most of America's vision is, which is that individuals can make their own decisions and choose their path and pursue happiness, but this all-encompassing control that the left seeks, and whether it's dividing our kids based, on oppressor versus oppressed, or pitting, countrymen against countrymen in this country, it's not healthy. It's not who we are. But I think conservatives have the right vision here, which is everybody has a right to speak their mind, to defend themselves, all those rights that are protected in the Constitution. That's who we are. And we're going to fight back. And the good news is, even though they're playing for keeps, they're trying to pack the court and add states to the union and federalize elections, we're fighting back and we're winning. And I outlined, we've won at the Supreme Court on the OSHA mandate. We've won at the Supreme Court on Remain in Mexico. We've won on the Head Start program where they tried to force the masking of kids. and vaccine mandates. We're winning. We're fighting back and winning. But it takes all of us. We all have a role to play, whether it's showing up at a school board meeting or showing up at a county council meeting or running for school board. All of us have a role to play. I'm going to continue to, fight side by side with so many patriots who believe the way I do that this country is so important. It's the most important experiment in the history of the world, and it's worth defending.
Absolutely. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt with us right now. I came across a story that really highlights to me what I think a lot of Americans are experiencing. You're talking about people showing up at these board meetings. I mean, these seem like small efforts, but these efforts have come together to change the course of the direction that Americans and our students, our kids are having to stick to based on what their local governments, their federal government have been saying. The CDC has been saying that kids need to do in the classroom, what teachers are able to do or need to do in a classroom. That change is directly downstream from what average Americans have stepped up to do. But people like me and people listening to the show don't feel like they're fighting a fair fight. They feel like their message is not welcome. It's isolated. They're not allowed to say it. They're being censored. You recently received a reply to an inquiry that you made to T-Mobile about censorship of conservative messages. And I'd like to know a little bit more about that story and the result of your inquiry.
Yeah, so they were blocking essentially links from conservative website on text messages. And we found out about it, and we sent a letter asking, hey, what's this all about? And they came back and replied and said, it's been addressed, and it was a glitch. It was a third-party vendor. They made the point of, hey, this seems to only happen. These mistakes seem to only happen.
I was just going to say, name a one time that some far left liberal, give me an example anywhere.
It doesn't. And by the way, just a few weeks ago, we opened an investigation into GoFundMe for blocking people they're holding themselves out as a company to take charitable donations for a cause that's on that platform. And then, of course, when it's a conservative one they don't like, they were going to move it to like Black Lives Matter, and then they just decided to give it back. And it's just a mess. And this has been consistent. I mean, one of the hallmarks of my service as Attorney General is to take on even the most powerful actors, whether it's the big institutions like big tech or big government. Just be unafraid and fight for the people, because that is what my job is. And this is another example of big tech. Something happened here, and it's always, like I said, it's always an accident. It always happens to be conservatives, but we're going to keep pushing back, which is why we've got those massive lawsuits right now, antitrust lawsuits and privacy lawsuits against Google and Facebook. We're looking at GoFundMe. We sent this to T-Mobile. We're not going to stop. And you have to have that. Otherwise, the folks who have a different vision and want to censor folks and censor speech because of the point of view will just bulldoze the Constitution. You have to have people willing to stand up.
The issues that we're talking about here, essentially freedom of speech and, our ability to make certain medical decisions for ourselves, pro or con, but based on our own personal self-interest. Basic things like that. We're not talking about we're not in the weeds on policy here. Actually, nobody talks about policy anymore, ever. I don't even know that policy is available to be discussed when it comes to political campaigns and so on and so forth. People are asking for some reinforcements of some very basic things like the First Amendment. Are you seeing across the state of Missouri, are you seeing a shift in the, tried and true political parties that people are traditionally adhering to because of how basic this question of freedom has people thinking about their lives and elections?
Yeah, I mean, a couple points. One is, to your point, we are not having traditional political debates about, hey, what should the tax rate be or entitlement reform. I mean, we're talking about the Democrats being 2 votes away in the United States Senate from adding states to the union to alter the balance of power. They're packing the Supreme Court because they don't like results, or, making permanent some of the ridiculous undermining they were doing of election integrity in 2020, making that permanent by federalizing election. That's what's at stake. Those are big things that change the country forever. And I think what you do see is that people are waking up. They see this. Younger people, when I was at CPAC this weekend, there were so many young people there. And I think this freedom and liberty agenda that you and I talk about, I feel like we're talking about every week now, which is great because, I wish we didn't have to. But the reality is that is at the core of what these issues are all about. Fundamental freedoms and liberty for individuals. And I think that speaks to everybody, but particularly the young people. They see what's on the horizon. They want to live in a country that's free. They don't want to go backwards. They don't want to be like everybody else. They don't want to live in some country where you've got like a political Politburo, that's deciding what's acceptable, and you've got to conform, and you better not conform or it's going to affect you better conform or it's going to affect your social credit score. And if your social credit score is affected, you can't go to a particular movie or you can't go to a concert. I mean, this is the kind of stuff they do in communist China. And we can't allow the big tech giants to work in concert with these leftists who, that is what they want this country to be. They want to quell opposition. My position has always been, you fight speech you don't like with more speech. You have to convince people that your point of view is the right point of view. And you don't accomplish that by shutting people down. It doesn't work, by the way. One of the reasons why our country is so beautiful is that the First Amendment is supposed to be this pressure release valve. So you don't spiral into political violence. The people feel like they have a say. When they don't feel like they have a say, that's when bad things happen. So it's so important for us to protect the First Amendment.
Yeah. So spot on. One last question before I let you go. We're speaking with Attorney General Eric Schmitt. The one thing that is going to, it's not going to solve, but it's going to be a huge step in the right direction. The midterms that are coming up, specifically trying to take some of the power, the ability to do things like you said, which is add states to the union. That is so ridiculous to think that, especially the purpose of doing that would be to shift political power into the hands of the Democrats. The one thing that people need to do, voters need to have, is confidence in their elections, that their vote counts, that their vote counts once, and that anybody else who votes, that their vote counts once. Do you feel like Missouri is in a good position to have, the next election, and that voters should have confidence in that? And how does that compare to the country?
Yeah, I think it's state by analysis, right? Because every state has different election laws. And you see some of these woke corporations trying to bully states like Georgia and Texas that were trying to strengthen their election integrity measures. And they use ridiculous language about disenfranchisement. That's not what any of that is about. It's making sure that you're actually, the integrity of our elections, that when a person goes to vote, that's actually that person and they're only counted one time, right? That's really important for people to have faith in our elections. And what we saw in Missouri in 2020, these out-of-state liberal activist groups filed 3 lawsuits to try to undermine election integrity for mass mail-in balloting. We defended it. I defended those, and we won all 3, right? So Missouri was in a better position in places like Georgia and Pennsylvania where that didn't work out that way. So we got to be vigilant all the time. And, it's just so important. It's the cornerstone of our republic, and why I was so active in challenging, what happened in Pennsylvania and the Texas lawsuit. I mean, we led the briefing on that. And I've had a reporter ask me at filing for the Senate race, do you regret that? Or absolutely not. I stand by every word of that brief. And I think it's really important for people to have faith in our elections, that it's very important. And when I get to Washington, D.C. and the Senate, Washington should be less relevant in people's lives. I don't want to be an important person in Washington. I want to get that power back to the states and back to people where they can make these decisions. Washington, D.C. has become way too big, and people, look to D.C. too often to solve the problems. Those problems are solved in communities with people working together, and we got to get government out of the way, especially the federal government.
I can't agree with that anymore. Eric Schmitt, your time is valuable, and we are so grateful that you share it with us here on the Annie Frey Show. We look forward to doing it again. Can't wait to see what you do next week. Bye-bye. Yeah, you as well. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. State of Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt there. Love what he's doing. And, just these little things that pop up. T-Mobile, they basically said that they have, I'm reading the letter here that was sent to Attorney General Eric Schmitt from T-Mobile. It says, to be clear, from what I understand, they were blocking Gateway Pundit links, I believe. It says in the third paragraph, to be clear, spam filtering is an automated process and sometimes sometimes false positives can occur, as they did with some Gateway Pundit content, which we understand was reported to your office. Specifically, we learned that our spam filter caught links from a limited number of legitimate sites because they match certain criteria that screens inappropriate messaging activity designed to protect against improper spamming. We corrected these issues immediately, as we always do when such issues are brought to our attention. If you are aware of any ongoing issues, we welcome the opportunity to discuss them with your office and or the content owner to ensure protected speech is not impacted in your text messages. Glad Eric Schmitt went to bat on that one. And quickly, apparently, I don't know how quickly, I don't know when the initial inquiry was sent out, but he did get a response, and I'm grateful to see that and grateful to bring it to you. Drives me crazy. Like, it doesn't.
In your text messages, you said it, in your text messages. That should be the very first indicator to their spam filtering that it's from one person to another person. That's not spam. If it's from like a random number or something like that, then they should be able to figure out that that's not spam or that it is spam. But that's ridiculous that they go into your text messages and be like, you can't look at this. Because that's essentially what they did. You can't see this.
Nothing you send is yours, folks. Just always remember that. Quick break. When we come back, more Annie Frey Show right around the corner. It's 144 right now. You can donate your car to Goodwill. Get 2022 Cardinal tickets at mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Cardinals. Let's get Ryan Wiggins back in here shortly. And we'll talk a little State of the Union, what we expect. I'd love to know what you expect. You can join us right now on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. That's where we will be covering this live tonight. Probably around 7:30-ish is when we'll go live. Depends on how long it takes me to get the setup in my basement and how many times I have to reset it up after my kids knock it over. Stick around. More Annie Frey Show in a minute.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
You into penetration, the gender of a generation, the birth of every other nation. Look your way to
The Mark Reardon Show.
Let's start with former Senator Jim Talent.
There's some reason to believe that maybe the momentum of the invasion is slowing, although, I don't think anybody should get their hopes up.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
So Air Comfort Service, these are good people, and they're coming to my home Friday. They were supposed to, we were going to have them come replace the water heater in our house today. And my husband called me yesterday. He goes, Annie, I'm supposed to empty the entire storage closet so that they can put the new water heater in. Are you going to be doing that State of the Union thing in the basement? And I was like, oh. And I thought, the crew won't care if our totes are sitting out in the basement, but I don't know that we're going to have enough room in the basement. Regardless, Air Comfort's coming out on Friday. They're going to take care of our water heater that is pretty much gone toast. They're going to replace it, an electric one with a gas one. And while normally when I talk to you about Air Comfort Service, I'm not talking to you about water heaters. I'm talking to you about getting your furnace system checked and probably now getting your HVAC, your air conditioning system checked too, because it's March. Yay, it's March. Let's celebrate. The reason why I have them come, they were the first call that I made, is because I trust them. When Air Comfort Service comes into my home and looks at the problem that I have, and I know they're the expert on it, I just trust them to take care of that for me. So I want to encourage you to trust them as well. And when you reach out to them at 314-513-0091, that's 314-513-0091, you can reach out to them and talk to them about your problem and tell them, Annie told me I could trust you, and go from there. You'll be happy you did. AirComfortService.com.
If your business has accounting problems, you probably have tax problems. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Running a small business is tough, and it's no surprise that companies that don't keep good books often run into tax issues. If you don't fix your accounting problems, you could be doomed to land in the same tax pitfalls every year. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I can help you get out of tax trouble and stay out. If your small business doesn't have a CPA or accountant, I can help you find one. And if you already have one, I work closely with them to resolve your tax problems quickly. Make no mistake, if the numbers don't add up, the IRS will catch it. Fix your accounting and tax problems before they snowball with help from the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The St. Louis real estate market continues to make headlines for home sellers. Selling's easier, but finding your next home can be tricky. Hey, Mark Cox here. For the best real estate advice, get to know my friend and realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I know everyone knows a realtor. I know several as well, but I only endorse Gloria because of her proven track record. I've seen her systems, I've met her clients, and when it comes to getting you more money, Gloria is the only agent and team I would trust to sell my home. The secret is Gloria already has the buyers. Thousands of buyers who are looking for homes in your area, your price range, and ready to buy today. This is how Gloria creates higher demand, multiple offers, and the most money for you. So take it from me. Call Gloria today at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 52 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
If it's bumper to bumper or smooth sailing, Sue Thomas has you covered with dependable traffic. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
Yo, mic check, mic check. Yeah, here you go. Oh, nah, he over here. Yeah, I heard he got that hot new thing.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Vibe a second. It's a club, girl, while you arrive naked.
That's a really funny line in that song. Have you ever heard that line before? Have you heard that before?
Is it the naked line?
He goes, "It's the club. Why you arrive naked?"
Oh.
Which is, when it comes to rap songs, is this a rap song? I mean, he's rapping.
Is it?
Yes, it's a rap song.
To the people in this room,
yeah.
Let's go get decency in here. Weigh in on that. I always found that interesting that you have Will Smith singing a song and he's saying, like, lady.
Well, isn't he known as the cleaner version of rap?
He's mainstream. I mean, I think he probably, I bet you there was a Will Smith song that played on 102.5 at one point or another.
Oh, yeah. I remember, wasn't he the one that Eminem
Just the two of us
went after? There was a line in Eminem's song says, well, Will Smith doesn't have to cuss in a song, but I do. So blank you, blank you too.
That's not even a diss. And I think Will Smith would be like, we're both doing fine.
Well, yeah, I think Will Smith's doing fine.
Thank you for agreeing. Eminem's lyrics, if you Google them and you read them, I mean, it's Eminem. So obviously, but he says so much.
Dude's super talented.
Yeah.
He is.
There's no song like Lose Yourself.
I don't even like that song, but I'll agree with you.
No, I mean, like, I don't care if you're 95 and you're getting ready to go to the grocery store. If Lose Yourself comes on, you're like, yeah, I'm going to the grocery store. You know what I'm saying?
I turn it off and then I go to the grocery store.
I would say pull it up, but it's too scary.
Yeah.
Can't play it on there.
No way. It'd be nothing but dump.
We were talking about, this is weird. In radio terms, that means Brad pushes a button to make the bad words go away.
That's right.
In non-radio terms,
nothing but dump.
I like
Brad,
that.
make that one take a dump.
Brad's doing lighting.
Yeah,
right
I don't
now.
know what Brad's doing right now.
He's trying to make your face better. Your face looks very well lit.
Trying to frame you in the camera so it's not just the top of your head.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you.
We're just talking off the air. I think it was kind of an interesting conversation about, like, generally speaking, our individual outlooks on life. And I describe myself as I'm 100% cynical. People who know me, I don't know. I don't want to pull the curtain back too much, but I'm not a really fun person to be around. I'm not a very positive person if we're talking about, I don't know, important things. Like, I'm super detail oriented. I'm super business oriented. In the show, I'm always planning for, here's what we're going to do for the show. But I also have like plan B, C, and D ready because nothing ever goes according to plan. Like, I'll tell Brad, he'll be like, okay, so we're going to play this off here. I'm like, yep. But when that doesn't work, this is how we're going to do it. I'm super analytical. I don't think that makes me the most fun person to be around, but it does produce quality product. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but the difference we were talking about specifically between me and you, I would describe myself as very analytical. So I don't know that goes hand in hand with cynicism.
No, it's what you do with it, because I was saying that you are a hopeful person.
I'm generally an optimist.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am not. Like, what was the original thing that we even started that even
images? Yeah, go ahead, Brad.
Videos of coming out of Ukraine.
What we believe. Yeah. What we see regarding the events taking place in Ukraine. Because you were saying, Brad, that you were seeing so many videos.
Just wild stuff. Yeah.
And I said, I don't believe any of it. There is nothing that I see, and I should go back and look through my Twitter timeline just to make sure I'm not making a liar out of myself. But like the ghost of Kiev and, some of these other, what?
Oh man.
Snake Island and stuff?
Adam Kinzinger got.
That's so embarrassing.
That was bad.
So I can't tell you how many times I go to tweet something. I get 8 words out and I'm like, delete it. Like, I mean, more than I tweet. I untweet before I click tweet, which is always a smart move, folks. That little trepidation you feel in your gut, listen to it, take it back. You can never take it back once it's out there. But I just, for the sake of protecting myself, my brand, and also taking the responsibility of what I might put out into the world and not be able to reel back in, I am super cautious. And while I want to believe these things, the last thing in the world that I want to be is duped. I hate feeling like I fell for something.
No, I'm with you there, though. I'm with you. It doesn't mean I've never been duped, but I do the same thing. I'll write half a tweet. Usually, though, I'm pulling mine back because I'm like, that poop joke wasn't that great. So it's a little different.
It's all dump from here.
Just dump it all. Just a big dumper.
Where do you fall on this, Brad? I mean, I don't even know what spectrum we're specifically talking about. I'm basically saying I'm cynical. I don't believe anything, and I am not fun to be around.
But I'm an optimist about things, and I still don't believe most things. But on this one, I do believe more of what we're seeing probably than you do.
Would you say you're gullible?
I would say most of my life I have been, but I've learned my lesson.
I am not gullible because I will often not believe things that are true. Just in case. Just in case.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I would describe myself in this situation. I'm definitely more optimistic than you are, judged on that conversation.
Chris,
like, you don't believe anything.
Chris on our Annie Frey YouTube channel said, I'd love to read Annie's online dating profile. Very analytical, cynical, not much fun.
And here's a picture of me with a dog. Because I read that makes me look more likable.
I would need to hire somebody. Just tell some lies that people like to hear.
Make this better.
I love dogs. I love music.
Hate people.
Hate everything else.
No. Oh, man.
But I tend to focus more on the principle of what's being said rather than who's saying it. And I feel like if I focus on the principle, then like if somebody tells me something and I'm like, the principle of this matter is correct, then I will pursue it. But I won't necessarily get too wrapped up in the actual story itself.
Did you guys do the Myers-Briggs test, which I know psychologically speaking is bologna sausage, and people be like, oh, Myers-Briggs is proven false, except for the fact that I took it and it told me who I was, and it was right.
It programmed you. You weren't going to be that, and then you believed that.
No, I actually took it and read what I know this is what horoscopes do, but I read how it I read it 5650 or 5750. Brad.
Are we at 5720.
Look, it's a weird one.
I was
we're
like,
gonna break in 10 seconds, and I say his name, and he goes,
"What's that?" We're gonna go to break right now.
And then you're throwing numbers at me. It's like, this
I needed to know what I've run out of time now.
Yeah, you've got 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
INFP. I'm an INFP.
Okay.
Have you ever taken that?
Yeah, but I don't remember anything.
I want you to take it again.
Oh no, I hate that thing.
It's probably part of your personality type. Whiny.
Responds poorly to commands.
We'll be back, probably.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great, because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
Need more living space to enjoy every moment you spend at home? Time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design. Whether you want a luxurious bathroom, an updated kitchen with tons of counter space, a finished basement, or a bump-out addition, Lakeside does it all. We don't subcontract, and we guarantee our work with a lifetime workmanship warranty, so you can rest assured you get the home interior of your dreams. Request a free consultation at 636-978-5000. That's 636-978-5000. You'll love your home all over again.
Everyone deserves the retirement they have always wanted. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, protecting your life savings along with growth potential is key. When your nest egg is protected from market losses, the fear and anxiety of not being able to retire are no longer part of the equation. That is the first step. Our sole focus is on you. I'm Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group, and we'll show you how to protect your retirement accounts from market losses and generate more income than most investment options. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. We'll design your own personalized, structured income plan that will show you exactly how to retire comfortably. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my second edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. I've been helping retirees and pre-retirees to retire with confidence for 36 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
Escalating attacks on urban areas. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. On day 6 of its Ukraine invasion, Russia hitting the main TV tower in the capital, Kyiv, killing at least 5 people and knocking some channels off the air, at least temporarily, after bombarding the main square in Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv. This is a convoy of Russian forces now 40 miles long, rolls on toward the capital. Some Ukrainians who've gone to neighboring countries are now returning. Fox Business's Connell McShane along the border with Poland.
We've spoken to, I would say, dozens, over the last couple of days, of basically young men of military fighting age that fit the description. They've been living in Poland or another part of Europe, and they want to go back. We really don't have a reliable number to tell you about how many people have done that. I know the Polish border guard said on Sunday there were 22,000 people going back the other way, many of them to get back in the fight.
President Biden had another call with Ukraine's president today, emphasizing ongoing U.S. support, including with weapons and humanitarian aid. More than 24 countries are tapping oil reserves.
The International Energy Agency says all 31 member countries, including the U.S., have agreed to release 60 million barrels of oil combined from strategic reserves to send a strong message to oil markets that supplies are strong despite Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And as the price here for oil now tops $100 per barrel and the highest prices at the pump in 7 years.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. When President Biden gives his first State of the Union address tonight, Ukraine's ambassador to the U.S. will be in the First Lady's viewing box, along with a number of other guests, highlighting themes in the president's speech, including the Intel CEO, who recently announced a big investment in semiconductor manufacturing, a 7th grade diabetes advocate, and a college student who's also a parent using a tuition-free childcare program that was part of a COVID relief package. America is listening to Fox News.
Who's that again? I don't know that number.
Please hold for a very important message.
Skip. You can skip robocalls, but don't skip your well visits and recommended vaccines. They help protect you. So ask your doctor or pharmacist about any recommended vaccines you may need. Really? Again? And skip.
A public service announcement from Vaccinate Your Family in collaboration with Merck.
Americans don't trust big media. The source you can trust is Newsmax. Find it on all major cable systems or download the free Newsmax app on your phone. Millions are watching Newsmax and the Newsmax team with Rob Finnerty, Eric Bowling, Sean Spicer and Lindsey Keith, Greg Kelly, Stinchfield and Rob Schmitt. Plus weekends with Huckabee, Diamond and Silk, Gorka and Wendy Bell. 20 million people have made the switch to Newsmax. Try it. You may never go back.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Well, this is certainly the way to kick off the month of March. Sunny and warmer this afternoon, 69-70 for the high. The average high this time of year is 51, so we're way above that. Tonight, clear skies, 40. Wednesday, plenty of sunshine, even warmer Wednesday, 75 degrees for the high. Thursday will be sunny and cooler, 59. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's happening right here.
Russian forces will be engaged in something akin to a full invasion of Ukraine.
Right now.
Russia said we were lying. Russia said we were supplying the world with misinformation.
You are likely in the last few hours of peace on the European continent for a long time.
The world, the country, and the community.
I tell you what, I just heard a big bang.
And as an American, I'm angry about it and I'm saddened by it.
97.1 FM Talk.
Is your portfolio positioned for the biggest risks facing investors today? Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. We have experienced tremendous economic changes in the last year. Today, historically low interest rates and spiking inflation present new risks and opportunities for investors. If you haven't made changes to your investments in the last year, it's time for a portfolio review. With 100 years of combined experience, our team can help you prepare for the risks relevant to today's investors. Contact the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel to request a free portfolio review at clearpathinvesting.com or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Home warranty. I know, right? Buying coverage for appliances, your heater and AC, etc. from a company that hopes you never ever have a claim or call. Let me introduce you to a real home warranty company, the kind that actually wants to help you. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Upkeep visits your home 4 times a year to maintain your appliances and equipment. You will never get a lack of maintenance denial because Upkeep does the maintenance. Also nice, Upkeep assigns you one point person to help you. You won't be passed around like an office hot potato, and you won't get subcontractors. Upkeep does all their work, so there's no blame game. Just experts helping you. Visit upkeepstl.com today and type in 971 for $100 off. Don't be denied. Instead, be relieved. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. 636-387-7331.
Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep, and you'll have a happy home.
The Bommarito Automotive Group is proud to be partnering with Tax Slayer on and off the track, and you're the winner. Purchase any new or pre-owned vehicle from Bommarito and receive complimentary federal tax filing with Tax Slayer. Or visit Bommarito.com for 50% off Tax Slayer's filing service. File fiercely with Tax Slayer. A better experience, a better price. Go with the automotive leader, Bommarito, Missouri's #1 automotive group. Open 24/7 at Bommarito.com.
Worried about what you're breathing in? With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
Odyssey is an all-encompassing audio landing zone where you can find podcasts in any genre and listen live to 97.1. Not to mention that you can rewind within the last 24 hours. 97.1 FM Talk on the go. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock, Riverviews, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. Visit GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, Dad. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Now, we have the State of the Union tonight, and I know how excited you are to watch that, which is why we're going to watch it with you. You need to make sure you subscribe to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and come along and join the conversation. We always have a lot of fun at these events, and we want to personally invite you. It's going to we'll probably start broadcasting 7:30, 7:45 from my house. Brad's going to be there. Ryan's going to be there. Hannah's going to be there. And much to Hannah's excitement, Molly is going to be there. So I think if Hannah does anything, she's just going to hang out and hold Molly.
That's probably what I'm going to do too.
And fight over?
I'm going to be fighting Hannah. Molly will be
over the baby.
Yeah, Molly will be off to the side, and me and Hannah will be having an all-out fist fight.
Jeff has a funny question.
Okay, Jeff.
If us three were siblings, who's the oldest, who's the middle, and who's the baby? First, you are in real life.
Oldest.
I'm the oldest.
I am the middle.
Oh.
Listen to the judgment in the
Okay.
Spoken like a true oldest sibling.
Yep.
Oh gosh, come on.
I would clearly be the youngest because I am the most gullible.
I had Ryan
and the toughest. Because you got to be the toughest to be the youngest.
Okay, Ryan, you go first. Who's who?
I just told you.
No, you said who you were.
I am the
Which
youngest.
Which is truly the youngest thing to say, is to be like, well, I'm the only one who matters here, so I would be the youngest. And then
I'm
not even to...
Brad's the middle child, and you're the oldest.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
That was boring.
That was Bane.
Yeah. Every once in a while in this show, naturally, we go into Bane and
Christopher Walken.
Yep. What if Christopher Walken was Bane?
I'm waiting for that combination.
Ooh, yeah.
You have to work on that and bring it back.
Okay.
Brad, who's who?
I would feel like I would be the oldest. Ryan would be the middle, and you'd be the youngest.
That's completely different than what he said, right? Why do you say that?
Ryan's always acting out, trying to get attention, wanting attention for himself, and that's generally what the middle wants to do.
I thought the middle was the quietest.
No.
And that's why I said
absolutely.
you were the quietest.
That is not my experience in my life. My sister's the quietest and she's the youngest. My brother is the loudest and he's the middle.
You?
I think that I'm the oldest. You're the middle, Ryan, and Brad's the baby. Mostly because Brad's the easiest to get, he's the go along to get along. You're not. I don't know.
That's maturity, though. That's why I'm the oldest.
Oh, barf. Spoken like a truly annoying baby of the family.
You know what I think?
You know
I
why
think we
I'm
would
so
all be
awesome? Let's stop and
triplets.
talk about it.
We would just be triplets.
But who would be the
all
oldest? Who would be
equal.
born first?
It doesn't matter.
That's what a middle child would say.
Dang it.
Middle children are supposed to be peacemakers, but middle children
That's not you, though. You're not a peacemaker.
Oh, man.
You're the opposite of a peacemaker. You know that.
What?
You are not a... I don't know your family dynamic, but
wait.
knowing you...
Are we talking Annie professionally or personally or just both because we're here?
It doesn't matter at this point. They all blend. You are not the kind of person that people go, yeah, Annie's kind of a peacemaker. You're the diametric opposite of that.
Which is what?
Which is a blank disturber. You will stir the pot. If you think you're right, you will never back down from it. And that is an admirable quality, but it is not a peacemaker.
That's not necessarily what a peacemaker wouldn't do.
What the heck are you talking about? Weigh in on this. Because your eyebrows are way up.
I'd like to hear more from Brad. I need a minute.
You'd like to hear more from me? No, Annie's fine. She's got
she's fine. I agree. Yeah,
she's got a very protective nature about her too. So she has her people and don't mess with her people. And there's circles of it and it goes in. And
that is not a peacemaker. And
absolutely a peacemaker. Because as long as you don't mess with her people, there'll be peace.
I'm a dictator.
Yeah, that's what you're describing. Is basically like authoritarian boundary maker, not peacemaker.
What is a peacemaker?
Yeah, the way you describe it makes it sound like a peacemaker is a wuss.
Yeah, a little bit.
No.
Blessed are the peacemakers. That's why you don't think.
I don't like the direction you're taking this conversation.
Blessed are the peacemakers.
You want to talk about being an S disturber?
Yeah. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what side to take here.
Very
either.
middle child of him.
Annoying,
and seeking attention.
which is really even more offensive because that's what I actually am.
I know. What diagnose yourself? Are you a middle child because you are a peacemaker?
I think I am a peacemaker.
But in your family or in life?
Yeah.
Both.
That doesn't mean that everywhere I go, peace follows, but that's not always my point. I think that being somebody who's willing to call out what is wrong or someone who is wrong or stand up for somebody who has been wronged. I mean, I don't think that peace always means agreement.
It absolutely doesn't.
I don't
always mean
either.
agreement.
I don't even have a dog in this fight. We're fighting over where we would be
You
if we were
just said
brothers
I
and
was the
sisters. diametric
opposite of a peacemaker.
I stand
Your
by
dog
that.
is the fight.
No, I stand by that statement. But I don't like, you're like, well, you can't be a peacemaker and stand up for things or the opposite of that. And I'm like, well, yes, I agree. I don't necessarily disagree with any of these things.
You just said that I said something I did not say.
Then clarify your statement? Because
I can't clarify my statement because you're making up statements that were not stated about things that I believe about myself when you told me that I was the diametric opposite of a peacemaker.
You are that. I won't back down from that. You are not somebody who goes, you know what? We need to make sure that we all get along.
But getting along is not what peace is.
Well, then define peacemaker.
Brad?
What
Am I
he's
wrong?
asking you? No, you're not wrong.
You can't have if everybody is just fronting and getting along, that doesn't mean that there's peace. That just means people have chosen to shut up. I mean, it's literally what the Democrats have tried to do to conservatives and Republicans, which is keep their mouths shut, because if they speak up, then the Democrats attack them and call them names. So the people on the other side of that equation keep their mouths shut. And when they keep their mouths shut, yeah, there is that version of peace, but it's not peaceful for the people who don't feel like they have a voice.
So your definition of peacemaker is fronting to get along.
No, that's your definition.
Yeah.
That's what she just said.
No, it
She
is
said
not.
that was your definition.
She doesn't like it when people are fronting to get along. Well, I don't agree
But
with
that's
that.
not peace.
I agree. I don't think that's peace.
But that's what you're equating peace with people getting along or not fighting.
Yeah, I mean, what you didn't define it though.
So to have peace in Ukraine right now, the Ukrainian people shouldn't fight back.
I didn't say that.
Well, I mean, it's the same principle. In order to have peace in Ukraine has to fight Russia to make sure that peace remains in Ukraine.
Yeah, peace through strength.
But if they were to just lay down their arms and surrender, there wouldn't be fighting. But the absence of fighting does not equate peace.
No, peace and appeasement are not the same thing.
Well, what you told me is I'm not like for me to go into something and fight against something doesn't mean that I'm in opposition to making peace.
I think what I'm talking about is in interpersonal relationships, trying to find common ground.
Which I don't do.
No, I think that you're like, this is the right way. And if
I think the entire premise of this show is me having a very distinct and illustrated perspective on things, but welcoming people who disagree completely with me to participate in that conversation because it doesn't happen anywhere else.
I don't disagree with that. I just wouldn't define that as peacemaker. Stalemate.
Are you looking at the chat?
Yeah, I'm just curious what your thought is.
On which part? The chat or what you guys are saying?
I feel like he's talking in circles.
I do too.
I do too. I don't even know what point I'm trying to make.
I'm going to give you some advice. When you're talking in circles, stop.
We're
Just
on a
stop
radio
talking.
show. We have to keep
You
talking.
don't have to keep talking in a circle, though.
Okay,
So-
somebody take over.
So take a stand and stand behind it and defend your stance. So what is peace? What is a peacemaker?
I don't know. That's kind of what I'm asking the whole segment.
You just told me that I was absolutely not it, but you don't know what it is?
No, but I don't think you do either. I don't think anybody does.
No, I absolutely know what I know what my position is on this. I think that peace is something that requires all parties to be in agreement on the comfort of what is peace, which means that you have to have all your cards on the table on both sides. And to be somebody who is interested in making peace, you have to be willing to bring all parties to the table and come to a common ground. And that is an uncomfortable thing to do. And that's what I do.
It's almost a mediation role where you've got two aggrieved parties and you have to hear both sides of it and then try to help them find some sort of common ground, not even necessarily finding common ground in yourself. But once you're able to do that with other people, you should be able to grow into doing it for yourself, looking at where you might be wrong and where you might be right.
I'm definitely not opposed to going into the gap where people aren't willing to stand and calling something out that I think is wrong, or identifying something that I think is hurting somebody else, or to an extent, and at a much lesser extent, something that is hurting myself, and being the person who speaks on that 100%. But I think that's a necessary step towards peace. And I think that's a step that most people aren't comfortable with because it involves conflict.
Yeah. Being a peacemaker doesn't mean that you are not okay with conflict. It means you're okay with conflict for the purpose of peace, which sounds really weird to say, but you have to be okay to have conflicting speech, conflicting actions, conflicting whatever with other people to come to some sort of agreement so that you can have peace. Peace is the end. It's not the beginning.
Webster's defines peacemaker as one who makes peace, especially by reconciling parties at variance.
So like a mediator, somebody that hears both sides and helps
that's
them
pretty
find
accurate.
common ground.
And you don't think I do that? You don't think you don't think I define that? You can say no.
I don't know, because it's such a dicey thing, because I can find examples of that, but I don't think that's not how I would define you, though. I'm not saying you can't do that. It's just not how I would define your personality.
Then how would you define it?
Bold, strategic, strong, caffeinated.
Not enough. Pistachioed.
I don't know. It's just not the one that I would go, you know what she is? She's a peacemaker. It doesn't mean you can't do that or don't do that.
That's fair.
Can we agree on the definition of peacemaker then?
Yeah, because it's literally what I said right before you read it from the dictionary.
I read it from the Then I guess I would be considered a peacemaker because I brought us all together right at the end of the segment.
Well, you got 40 minutes to
really
fill because I'm
terrific.
leaving.
Clearly.
It's really terrific. Like, imagine how great I am.
How about
you're right. He's the youngest.
How about, no joke, how about Hannah comes in here and assesses the situation when we come back?
I would love
She's
that.
kind of like, she has an equal exposure to all three of us.
Mm-hmm.
So, Hannah, is she out there? Did she leave? Maybe she left too.
Yeah, she said she told me earlier when I walked out there, she goes, "It's a nice day. I may just leave." So
beautiful.
She may be out
She's
there.
actually crying at her desk saying, "Mom, Dad, and Brad, stop
There
fighting."
she is. Hannah, when we come back, do you want to weigh in on, she's nodding her head in affirmation.
I'll agree to these terms.
You were not asked.
Thank you, peacemaker.
Yeah. Oh, just because you're a peacemaker in some situations doesn't mean you're dumb in others. All right, let's take a quick break. Play the music. This is where I say something to Brad. He goes,
What? What's that?
What? Where are we? We'll be right back. We're all still friends. Maybe. You can watch the YouTube and see the actual fist fight that's going to ensue right now. It's 221. Donate your car to Goodwill and get 2022 Cardinal tickets at mergegoodwill.org. Use promo code Cardinals. Hannah is going to settle everything when we come back. I'm looking forward to it. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. Threatening, throttling, or outright censorship. Not here. This is the place for ideas. 97.1 FM Talk. Right here, right now.
Man, it's a beautiful day outside. If you're sitting there looking out your windows, but you're noticing that the window seal is cracked and you know that they've been needing to be replaced for quite some time, Lakeside Renovation and Design is the go-to. They're the best. Infinity from Marvin fiberglass window replacement exclusive to Lakeside Renovation and Design, which is good because it's a very high quality product. And when you're going to invest in your home and you want high quality, you want to make sure that the people who are installing that high quality product know exactly what they're doing. Well, Lakeside Renovation and Design are those people. They know very much so how to put these high-end products in. James Hardy Siding as well. They can take care of your investment and make sure that everything is perfect. If you're looking for a window replacement for your home and you want to get the conversation started, you can call Lakeside Renovation and Design at 636-978-5000. Talk to them about what they can do for you on a financing front. 0% options for you as well. You can find them online right now, though, at lakesidrenovationanddesign.com.
Hi, I'm Trista Crick from BetQL.
Trista Crick from BetMGM tonight on BetQL.
Wagertainment. It's finding the things that get people who don't care about betting into caring about betting. Whether that's a sexual innuendo or Tony Stark being actually a supervillain, that is wagertainment.
All the insight you need to bet smarter is at BetQL.com. And listen to BetMGM tonight with Ryan Horvath, Quentin Mayo, and Trista Crick. Streaming weekdays from 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern on Odyssey.
Don't you wish fixing your car was simple? Mark Cox here. Today, cars have more tech than the first spaceship that went to the moon. It's guaranteed something's going to break. That's why I have a protection plan through CarShield. When I need a repair, I choose the mechanic. CarShield administrators take care of the rest. These plans through CarShield even provide rental car options and roadside assistance and trip reimbursement, all at no extra cost. Getting the coverage is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, contact CarShield for a free quote. 2, tell them about your vehicle. 3, choose the protection you need. That's it. Whether your car has 5,000 miles or 150,000 miles, CarShield has options to fit your budget. Get your coverage today. Go to carshield.com/Cox or call 800-391-8888 to save 10%. That's carshield.com/Cox or 800-391-8888 to save 10%. A deductible may apply.
Let's start off the new year with a new coat of paint. It's Mark Reardon for CertaPro Painters, and let's make 2022 the year you transform your home with some new colors and expert professional painting. CertaPro can make it happen, and the quality of the work will blow you away. One of my favorite parts of hiring CertaPro is I don't have to do the work myself. These are professional painters, and they can help you bring your vision of color to life. Schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Better tell them why they're here, 'cause they just may run away from you. You'll never know quite when. Well, then again, it just depends on how long the time is left for you. I've had the highest mountains, I've had the deepest rivers. You can have it all, but now keep moving. Take it in, but don't look down. I'm on top of the world.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Eric on the Annie Frey YouTube channel says, Annie fighting to say she's a peacemaker is some funny crap. So I did that. And Gary says making peace doesn't mean acquiescing. Ken says, I think Ryan is right. They're supposed to be talking about a family setting. Who drug politics into it? I don't even know who. I don't even know. Probably me.
Yes, it was you.
What a non-peace. Oh, shush.
Hannah, are you listening to these? Take these in as you come up with your assessment.
So, yeah.
As soon as I saw that question, I had my answer.
Oh.
Ready.
So the question was posed to us by Jeff, I believe. In the room here, between Brad, Ryan, and myself, who would be the oldest, who would be the middle, and who would be the youngest? And we fought about it. I suggest you do not go listen to the podcast. But if you do, you can hear that argument. And Hannah, we'll just say whatever Hannah says is right.
Okay.
Annie's the oldest. Ryan is the middle child.
Oh, isn't that what you said?
Yes. Brad is the youngest.
Yes.
Oh, you just said whatever Annie said.
No, that's not true. As soon as I saw that question, I think I commented on the live stream and I was like, oh, I agree with Eric because he said that right away too.
So why would you?
I don't even think there's anything to argue about here. I think those are all pretty like a given.
Why would you say Brad's the youngest?
Because he's easy. Like
like Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's exactly what y'all want to. What I want y'all to think about me too. Just
well, as far as as far as our purpose, yeah.
What are you gonna do?
This is a veiled threat.
Yeah.
Nothing. As long as that's the way he is here. I mean, he's super easy to get along with. He's super kind to everybody he meets, and he just does his job. It's all complimentary. Now let's do Ryan.
Why I think Ryan is the middle child?
Yeah.
He just
look me in the eyes. You say it.
No.
The awkward thing while you're doing this, and people, I know that people take that as an insult, is I am a middle child. Like, this is like, tell him why he's the middle child. Hannah, do it. Let him know. And then I'm like, oh, crap. That's what I really am.
What? No, I thought. Go ahead.
She's literally turning her head away.
I know. She won't look at
You
me.
make her so
Come on, Hannah.
uncomfortable. She just
I
talked
know.
about how
Hannah.
easy and comfortable Brad is to be
Yeah,
around.
see, I
She
can
can't
always
even
look
face
at the
you.
youngest
Look at me,
child.
Hannah. Look at him and tell him.
Ryan gives me middle child vibes because
Glad that's the only vibes you're getting.
Only one we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Tune into the YouTube tonight. We will get into the other details.
Whoa.
he is opinionated, but
But big butt.
I don't
Ugly.
even know how to describe it.
You were going to say ugly, weren't you?
That is not what middle children are.
No,
He's opinionated, but he's not good looking.
no,
Everybody on the show is so good looking except for Ryan. That's what you were going to say, wasn't it?
no.
Just go with it, Hannah.
Ridiculous.
Just go with
This is spoken like a true
There's
attention-seeking middle
nothing to
child.
say about.
it. Ryan is the wart of the Annie Fry show.
I prefer Bunyan or Boyle.
Ew.
And Annie is probably the most mature out of all of us. And
I think that was nice for old.
Yeah.
no,
Mhm.
level-headed, a little.
Do we want to wade back into is
little
Annie a
bossy.
peacemaker or not?
What do you think I am? Do you think I'm the oldest, middle, or youngest?
Only.
No.
Yeah.
In this, like in your
What?
actual
I
family?
give you only child vibes?
Not in a bad
Does that
way.
mean I'm a brat?
No,
Man, I don't
think
know.
I think only children are, generally speaking, like easy to get along with people who are older than them because the people who they're surrounded by growing up are usually adults.
Mhm.
That's kind of the vibe
I feel like they're peacemakers, but strongly
Oh, boy.
opinionated.
I am
They
actually.
run the gamut, really, to me.
I'm the youngest child, but my siblings are all 4 years older than me. So I feel like we have.
They're all 4 years older, so they're
we're all-
triplets.
No,
Oh.
we're 4 years apart each.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Casey says, Annie, I think you are strong in your convictions, which is great, but I also think that hinders you from being a peacemaker. I think you would be involved with mediation, but not at the mediator. And then let me see where this one was. Somebody said that Annie isn't a peacemaker; she's an advocate, which is an interesting way to put it. I could see.
You know
why someone
what
would
really
think that.
sold me on this
Lauren said that.
question was while you were fighting with Ryan, you were looking at Brad for like confirmation. You're like, Brad, speak on this. And that is exactly what the oldest child would do to the youngest, because that's what my sisters have always done to me.
That was never what I did to my siblings. It was always me against them. I was always on my own.
And and Ryan wasn't looking for anybody for defense.
Mike said, I'm driving down Highway 55 and had to turn on YouTube to defend Ryan Peacemaker Wiggins with 4 exclamation points. Please be safe. And then he said, I think Annie was mean to Ryan just now.
No.
Thank you so much. What was his name?
Justice for the middle child.
And then Joe says, Annie is right, 100.
Joe.
Oh man. So so you have younger and older. How much younger and older?
3 years older and 2.5 years younger.
So pretty, yes, kind of the same.
We were kids together. I mean,
Mhm.
we grew up as kids together.
So I have one younger brother who's 8 years younger than me. So
Yeah, that's almost like I think about my son is 12 and Molly is 8 months old. Like he's gonna basically be a grown up to her.
mhm.
And my daughter, who is 9, pretty much the same. So like my 5-year-old, I feel like will be the one sibling that she grows up with per se, but that Molly might end up being kind of more of that middle child thing that I was saying about you, Hannah, where it's just like you grow up and you're around people who are older than you the entire time, and the friends of my kids, just you kind of are pushed into a more mature environment rather than a peer-to-peer the whole time.
Do you think I was a protector or I was a bully to him?
You were a bully because you've told us that story about
Have
how
I?
you shoved your brother into or you knocked on somebody's dorm and like you put your brother in front.
Yeah, but
or
he was in
something.
on that. He was in on that
I
joke.
still say bully.
I don't know. I think you would be a helpful, resourceful person if someone sought you out. I don't know that you would be like out in front, like clearing the path for someone.
I think that internally, like within the family, you picked on your brothers because
Yeah,
you can't help but be a clown.
I was an absolute jerk to him.
But I think if anybody
have you
came
told him
in
that?
and did that there was no way, because he's your little brother. That's my little brother. You can't mess with him.
Yeah, to an extent, but
Isn't
I
that
don't know.
how all older siblings are? I feel
Yeah.
like they pick on them like at home, and then when it's out in the real world, and if there's
mean,
a
you hope.
problem,
Yeah.
Were you, Brian? You're hesitating on the response.
I don't know that I was that much of a protector of him. I'm more of that now as an adult than I was then. I text him, and I feel like, honestly, I will wake up in the middle of the night praying for my brother more than most other people. So I don't know why that is, but I really feel like I watch out for him more as an adult than I did as a kid.
That's probably not uncommon. I mean, we don't need to get too deep into your brother, but you care. I mean, the older you get, the more you kind of understand the cruelty of the world and
Yeah, that's
the
true.
fleeting. I think that's something that COVID has really done to me specifically. Is I feel like it's stolen, but at the same time made me hyper aware of time. I lost my grandma in September of 2020. She was 95 and she had a heart attack and it killed her. And it wasn't COVID related, but COVID did take the last year of her life away from us.
Right.
I'm really pissed about that. It makes me very angry to think back on that. And to, if we were to go back and redo it, would I still be at her house every Sunday night during COVID playing Pinochle? No, probably not, because I wouldn't have wanted her to get sick. I don't know how she would have fared if she would have gotten COVID. So I don't really, to me, I don't really blame, the reactionary mandates and restrictions and isolation for that, but I am mad about it. And I think about, other people who have been close to me who did get COVID and did go into the hospital. And in those moments, you just realize that there is more time than life. And that is heavy for me. I think about it a lot. Like, to the point where I'm wondering, this is, I guess, deep, but I've been wondering, like, is this the midlife crisis time, 37? Because I'm very happy with my life. I love what I do. I have a wonderful family, have great friends, have a wonderful church family. I have a lot of things to be really happy about. My grandma passing away now, like, shifts the focus to my parents' generation. Like, when the grandmas and grandpas are still there, it's like, it's different.
I know what you mean.
And then when the last one passes away and then it shifts to the next thing, that's difficult. And, I just had a baby. So I'm very much at the beginning of that life, position
phase.
or whatever. But it's just, I'll be 38 in April. So I'm a month away from being 38. And I think about how precious time is and how important it is to spend it wisely. And I'll tell you, I know that I try not to actually talk about this as much as people do associate me with it, but like the whole Disney World thing for me is where I go and my husband and I take our kids and we spend real time with them, and we use it as an opportunity to bring the other people who are the most important to us along with us so that we can make real lasting memories. Because that's what matters. To me, the world is on fire right now, but what I don't want to spend my time worrying about what Putin is going to do in Ukraine, because I can't do anything about that. What can I do with the time that I have right now? Because I don't know if I have another day. What can I do with the time? I can spend it with my kids. I can spend it with my family, and we can do it in ways that give us opportunities to make really impactful, lasting memories for us. Like, the time with family is the key thing. And for some people, that's the Lake of the Ozarks. For some people, it's a ski lodge somewhere. For some people, it's, your farmhouse, or maybe you've got like a double wide on some property that you have where you have a private lake and pond, and it's your own resolute place that you go to and spend time with family. But I really think that COVID, where we were forced to separate ourselves with other people, for me specifically, the lasting side effect of a global pandemic is this constant reminder that there is more time than life. And that's a very heavy thing.
I apologize if this is a conversation we had off air, because I can't remember what we talk about off air and on air anymore. It's all blends together. But were we talking recently about putting things in perspective of eternity and how much that shifts your perspective on things? Or am I making that up?
Well, what's your point?
Well, just when you put things in context of life and death, it just puts so much pressure on having to accomplish so much, or like you said, make memories and really like soak up everything you can, which is not a bad thing to try to utilize the time you're given. But in light of eternity, it sort of takes the pressure off, especially when you're talking about loved ones dying and things. It brings it so much to the forefront.
I don't think it makes it less important to do that in this life. But I have sat in the funeral services of my loved ones who I know I will see again in heaven. And I've sat in funeral services of people who I don't know if I'll see in heaven. It's a huge difference. And there is for me as a Christian, there is a measurably different sorrow that I experience when I'm not confident that I will experience an afterlife with the person who I cared enough about or cared enough about me to attend that particular service. I mean, my Christian faith is a coping mechanism. That isn't the purpose of my Christian faith. But there's no reason, just because Jesus saved me and saved my grandma, and I know I'm going to see her again, doesn't make me worry less about how much I dedicate to making those memories while I still had the opportunity to do that, which is why we did play Pinochle every Sunday night at her house for essentially my entire life. I mean, COVID really did put such a damper in it. And, honestly, when I started doing this radio show, well, I should say when I started on the radio on 97.1, our boss at the time had asked if I would be willing to sit in with Mark Cox, who was on Sunday nights, 7 to 9, right here on 97.1. And it was a very difficult thing for me to agree to do that because I was giving up my time with my grandma. And I didn't know how much time I had. That was in 2014. And I did that for 2 years and got my Saturday show in 2016 and got this midday show in 2018 and have been doing it weekdays for 4 years now. But I remember when I said to my boss at the time, like, I've done what I can do with this right now, because I wasn't getting paid for it. I was working 6 days a week and I didn't get anything extra for it. I was like, right now my value, I feel like I've done everything I can for this, and I can't justify missing out on this time that I can't buy back later. And I'm glad that I did have to make a sacrifice, but I'm glad that I made the decision to still move myself in a direction where I could have that time, because I can't get that back now, but I have a lot of memories from it.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go tell my boss about. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays.
Were you getting paid to work Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays?
I still want to get paid for those days, but I need that time to pursue some other things.
Well, that's a good way to get that opportunity.
I'll still come in Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays.
I'm sure you will. Brad, let's go to break. More Annie Frey show right in the corner. Hannah, you ready for tonight?
I am. I'm excited.
Excited? Molly's going to be there.
I know. So excited.
We're going to pass the baby around, watch the president at the State of the Union, and react to it with you. So please join us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Let's talk about expectations for the State of the Union, all four of us, when we come back, and love to get yours. We'll add your comments into the conversation, and we'll see you later tonight. And the same thing on the live stream. Stick around. More Annie Frey show in a minute.
But don't look down.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
The Mark Reardon Show. Let's start with former Senator Jim Talent.
There's some reason to believe that maybe the momentum of the invasion is slowing, although, I don't think anybody should get their hopes up.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
This is Ryan. A couple weeks ago, we had an Annie Frey Show event called Show Me That Smile Again. It was asking local school boards to make masks optional, and it worked. It was awesome. Everybody was holding up these signs that said, "Show me that smile again." Well, I thought, oh, is my smile look any good? I don't know. I don't think about it enough until somebody says, "Show me your smile." And you go, am I confident in my smile? So are you? If not, maybe you've ever considered getting teeth whitening. My friend, Dr. Ty Parker in Fountains Family Dentistry can do that for you. They can do basically anything for you. I talk about their sleep apnea mouth guard all the time. It's helped me so much, so much in my sleep. I don't worry so much about even going to sleep because I know if I have a bad night here or there, no big deal because I just sleep better overall. So many things they can do there at Fountains Family Dentistry. They're a full-service dental operation, as I put it, because they don't just clean your teeth, although they will do that for you. Fountains Family Dentistry in Fairview Heights, fountainsfamilydentistry.com.
Life happens, and suddenly you need to sell your home. When life happens, for whatever the reason, you need a real estate agent you can trust and count on to help sell your home for the highest price with the least hassle possible. Hey, it's Mark Cox here. I'm sure you know a realtor or two. Everyone does. But I only trust and endorse one agent. Let me tell you about my friend and realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and why you should call. Gloria Liu already has thousands of buyers. She has the experience and the expertise to help you when you need it most. Fact is, Gloria sells 2 times faster for 5% more money on average when compared to other agents. Just like she did for Gary in St. Louis, thousands over asking price. When life happens, call the real estate agent I trust. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Do you know how much of your life savings you could lose in the next market downturn? Are you okay with the stock market controlling your financial future, or would you like to have more control? Hi, I'm Ken Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. Our team can stress test your retirement portfolio and give you the confidence to enjoy your retirement without having to worry about what the stock market is doing. Call 314-328-6000 today. That's 314-328-6000. And schedule your complimentary retirement roadmap review with our team. That's 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
Heisey Advisory Group provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get in your comfort zone with a new heating system this winter. You could get 0% financing for up to 72 months on qualifying new HVAC systems. For free details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Up-to-the-minute traffic reports, so you don't have to keep looking at your phone. Dependable traffic on 97.1 FM Talk. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
Well, I got my first truck when I was 3, drove 100,000 miles on my knees, hauled marbles and rocks and thought twice before I hauled a Barbie doll bed for the girl
This
next door.
is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
About a pickup man.
Little Joe Duffy to take us into the afternoon. It's gorgeous outside, and we are about to go experience that. I'm looking here, and it says, okay, don't look at your phones or anything. Do any of you know what the temperature is outside right now?
70?
68.
67.
71.
72.
Wow. 72. I got it.
That's crazy.
Real feel 72, according to AccuAir. So it's 72 outside and it feels 72 outside, which probably means there's not a lot of humidity. Why we should be doing a remote from out there.
Yeah.
Just right outside. Like we'll just take the microphones and headphones and sit in the grass.
This is like when teachers had class and students would be like, can we have class
yes,
outside?
that was the best.
Mhm.
That
Didn't
really
you
was.
love it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know that we did it a lot, but my wife, every opportunity, she's probably outside right now. Any opportunity to take the class outside, she'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an indoors person just by virtue of what I do. every once in a while, COVID was one of the times where this really made a huge impact on me. I started doing couch to 5K in March 18th, I think, was when we shut down and had to, that's when we went home and I didn't come back until September of 2021. But I did couch to 5K and I'm not a runner. I'm a terrible runner and I hate running, but it was something to do where I could go outside and be by myself. And just going out and spending 30 minutes of running / walking, it fed my soul. And it was the sun. And I realized then that I'm I don't ever see it. I'm never in the sun. Is that your lifestyle? I mean, is that the nature of what we do that keeps us that way?
Kind of. I hear so many people in not our industry so much, but I do hear it. But any industry that involves being inside a lot, talk about seasonal depression being a thing. And I that's not me, but I have met people who it's a very real thing, and they'll either switch jobs or they'll try to do the same job from Florida or whatever it is, because the sun is a real thing.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. The sun is a real thing.
What was it that you said the other day? You're I'm not sure if the facts are correct on any of these points, and then you did a whole Wiggins America. And I go, give me that clip.
Normally I try to defend myself, but that was a dumb statement. The sun is a real thing. Well, because the whole time I'm saying it, I'm just picturing myself laying out on a porch like a dog, I'm the sun's a real thing.
So we're getting our deck replaced right now. And because it literally, you'd walk on it in the whole, and we have a walkout basement. So it's over the walkout basement. You'd walk out and the whole thing would just sway back and forth a little.
Ooh, let's do State of the Union from the deck.
Well, you can't now because it's torn off the house and there's caution tape on it. If you went out on the deck, I think if you went out on the deck right now, you would fall a story down.
Long walk, short pier.
Correct.
Let's do that for the State of the Union.
I was just going to say. By the way, I saw a Fox News thing on here. It says America needs to be energy independent. Joe Biden needs to be energy independent. Someone was suggesting he's probably getting pumped full of vitamins right now.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I mean, IV drips for vitamins and energy is a real thing,
yes.
But get the energy going, President Biden, so that we can hear you and see you and listen to you and feel like you're leading us.
Do you think we're going to hear angry Biden at times tonight?
Yes.
Because he'll be so pumped full of stuff?
Whisper Biden.
I don't think we'll see Whisper Biden. I think they tell him not to do that.
We should make a list of things ahead of time.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah.
And you should, folks, tweet them at Annie Frey Show. Will we see Whisper Biden tonight? Will we see Angry Biden? And we'll write them down. Tweet them to at Annie Frey Show. We'll write them down and we'll put them on a list and then we'll check them off throughout the night. And if we come up with some, we'll have to share some in our group chat.
How many personal stories will they tell about people in the audience? There's young Jennifer Hopkins. Let me tell you about Jennifer
Except for the fact that everybody does that.
Yes, I know, but the question is how many? Over under on 3, you know? And then over under on the time of the thing. Will it be an hour or less, or will it be more? I would set it at an hour would be the bet.
Under.
I'm going to say over.
I don't think he can make it past an hour.
Same.
You remember though, because people are talking about the time and how long he might go or how short it might be, I think he'll go long on purpose so it's not part of the story.
Yeah, but the last 30 minutes are just going to be just mush.
It's always
he can't
mush.
make it, but the last 30 minutes you'll be like, what is he talking about at this point?
Dude,
I'm kind of with you on this. I think he's going to go extra long.
But you said it to Brad this time.
I said it to Brad.
Thank you.
Dude, can you imagine what he's not getting better. We know that. He's not getting better. Look at him 4 years ago, look at him 8 years ago.
Look at him. Look at him in the campaign.
What is the State of the Union going to look like in 2024? Because this will be the best one by definition. I mean,
will it be him?
Good question. Who knows?
Next question.
Hannah doesn't want to answer.
Send us your at Annie Frey Show. You can message the Annie Frey Show Facebook page if you don't do Twitter. And let's put up our own list.
Okay.
Hannah, will you be in charge of the list?
Yeah, Annie's like, can you do that?
Yeah, please.
What do you mind?
Yeah.
It's hard for you to say no right now. It's not really fair for me.
No, it's fine. I'll do it.
No, I don't want to do that.
I'd say no, but Hannah would.
That's
You're
why I didn't ask you.
I invited you.
And if I asked you and you said yes, there's a 50-50 chance that we'd get there and you'd be like, oh, I forgot to do that. I had to eat lunch and then I had to eat dinner.
I had to eat second lunch, third lunch, then dinner.
You guys ever had Joe's Pizza?
Yes.
Yes,
You like it?
I do.
I was thinking about
Yes.
getting some Joe's Pizza tonight.
That sounds
Never had
delicious.
it.
Can I ask you which crust you prefer?
Well, I haven't had Joe's Pizza in a long time, but
I
we
was
usually
thinking
get
about this.
deep dish pizza
Yeah,
from
the
there.
deep
Chicago.
dish is
Do
really
you like
good.
that?
I do.
I don't want to get it if you guys don't want it because it is a lot.
My problem is I'm trying to do less gluten because I feel achier.
I feel like this would be
Tonight is a gluten
But
night.
man,
More
it is a
gluten.
gluten night. Yeah,
You-
it might be.
Ryan's like, I'm in.
Let's
pay
just
for
get
it
it. Just
tomorrow.
put extra gluten in it. Let's
I
do it.
need a Chicago style pizza, extra gluten.
Yep.
What do you like on your pizza?
Any meat and garlic.
Do you order like you like cloves? I really like
I
I
love it.
like
That would be
garlic
good.
cloves on pizza. What do you like, Brad?
I generally, this is going to sound terrible, but I generally get chicken on pizza.
This doesn't sound terrible.
Because I can't have like the sausage and the pepperoni and stuff like that. I need
Should
to
I
stay away from that.
Not
So,
get it with sausage and pepperoni?
well,
I'm a
I can get
sausage
it half
man
and half.
myself.
you don't have to on my part. I'll just pick it off.
I would say the more sausage,
Good to know that,
the
Ryan.
better. I like it spicy too. And the more I say this stuff, the worse it gets. But it's true. I like a spicy meatball.
Ryan, don't break Annie. We've only got a few minutes
know,
left, and
I
you're gonna have to
know.
take us out.
I know.
We were talking about if we were going to have drinks. Everybody wants to know if we're drinking. We just found out that Hannah's 20. Remember being 20?
Barely.
I
That was like half your life ago, wasn't it?
It is
sure
half his
was.
life is ago.
You jerks. You guys are so funny.
It's your age.
You guys should be on the radio.
it's
You're
just
so
how
funny.
old you are.
I know. But it never ceases to come up. I should have lied about my age from the time I started working here.
Why? Just in case you were.
Just in case.
When you started working here and you were in production only, and
Yeah.
then just in case you became a regular staple for 3 hours in the middays.
Yes.
You know what I should do is I should lie about my age in case I become wildly famous.
Yes. Which I've achieved clearly. And now it's like, oh, he's 40. But actually, I could have been probably 33 right now. You guys would have believed that.
Not a chance. Not a
yes,
chance.
yes, you would have.
Brad, assess his visual age.
No, don't do that.
His
Never,
visual age.
ever do that.
What does Ryan look like on the outside?
Folks, on the
Hannah
webcam.
called me ugly earlier.
She
That was
did not.
offensive.
You moved it.
You
knocked
projected
yourself
that,
out.
Ryan.
That's what you were. Yeah, that was the vibe you were getting. But that was totally.
She was giving off that vibe, though. It was on her.
The word vibe has been used too much.
Too much,
today. I
yeah.
used it 3 times.
Retire the
in my
vibe.
segment.
Real quick before we go to hand us over to the Mark Reardon show. I want to know if you're watching the live stream right now. How old does Ryan Wiggins look? You can assess all of us. I just told you that Hannah's 20. How old does Ryan look? How old? I'll put myself out there, and I've told you how old I am as well, and Brad. But how old do we look?
What if I was wearing a princess wig or a curly black wig?
You can do that these days.
You look like an old man wearing a curly black wig.
What if?
I don't
know. Answer
An
your own
old
question. Then
man.
what?
An old man.
What are people saying?
Gosh. Never thought I'd live to be the old guy.
Jaded says 35. I assume they're talking about Ryan.
35, 38. Yeah, I like this. This is fine. I think so.
You're fine with 38?
Yeah, because it's less than I am now.
There's nothing wrong with 38.
I would have said, I would guess that you are late 30s, early 40s.
Thank you. 13.
Ryan,
says.
Eric,
13.
Eric says Ryan 45.
Holy smokes.
Annie 36. Brad 35.
Wow.
I think Brad does look more youthful than we do. He has a vibrance about himself, which is the part where he hasn't had children suck the life out of him.
This is probably true. I mean, I'm a youth minister, so I
Yeah.
get to send them home.
Yeah, you do, and you're very good at it. But
I
there's
bore 3 children and I still look this good.
I'm gonna just. Oh my gosh, you guys show up at 7:15. He's coming to 7:30. We'll lock the door.
I'm going to try to come in from the back door on that porch.
On the,
You got one of them
I was
ring
just gonna
doorbells,
say,
don't you?
it
Rip down
doesn't-
the caution tape.
It doesn't. The deck doesn't exist. But I keep looking at the ring to make sure, not make sure, but to check and see if the deck guy is still there. He's been there all day.
Will he be done by the time we get there?
Oh my gosh, no.
Oh, okay.
Today's a great day to build a deck.
It is, and it's supposed to be beautiful all week, so everybody soak it up and enjoy it. Please join us tonight on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Just go there, subscribe. If there's a notification bell to click, you can do that, and you will get notified between 7:30 and 8 when we go live. And we'll have a list of, will this happen, will that happen, and we'll see. Get your predictions in at Annie Frey Show on Twitter. Mark Reardon Show coming up next.
The sweet heart
This is a great time of the year to upgrade the energy efficiency in your home with my friends at Window World. Mark Cox here to tell you more about my experience with Window World. They replaced a couple of windows at my house. They were just panes of glass. We wanted to be able to get some airflow into the master bathroom. They came out, they gave us a free estimate, and then had the windows at seams installed in no time. Very professional, lifetime warranty I get, and you get an extra double strength glass on their replacement windows that's not common. So you're getting a great price, simply the best for less. They do front entry doors, rear entry doors if you're looking to replace that back door or sliding glass door in your home. They've got a great selection at Window World. They're also right now offering 18 months, same as cash financing, of course, with approved credit. The preferred window of the St. Louis Blues, 314-993-1800. windowworld.com.
Everyone deserves the retirement they have always wanted. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, protecting your